Okay. Welcome to the sixth episode of a talk show. In this talk show, we highlight very good members of the community, regulars, new members, trying to get the community in on the inner memes or, in a bit of banter and let them get to know everyone, a wee bit better. The format itself is going to be pretty standard tonight. A couple of questions about Fnatic, questions about themselves, questions about the Discord, and then maybe a cheeky AMA after. But tonight, at the very end, we may even have a karaoke night. That's right, a karaoke night. Bit of singing, bit of dance. Why not get everyone singing? Get a bit of fun. As it is tradition in this talk show, our guest will always upload a photo of himself. Now, Madscot's already posted. It's pinned. At the end, an MVP will be picked, and the guest, between me and the guest, will choose who is the MVP. And Loki X will be the tiebreaker. He will be the one who decides if we can't agree. So, as I said, make some memes, make some fun, and let's have a good time.
So, thank you very much, Pope. Let's get into the first round of introductions then. I am Loki, one of your hosts for this evening. Nothing more to be said about me, to be honest. My co-host this evening is the master of lies and propaganda, the job agent himself, the man who snores. He is Lord Clover, Pope Maguire IV. So, before we get into the Discord news, let's introduce our guest for this week.
Our guest this week is the infamous Rager, the angriest man in the Discord, half Scottish warrior, half French surrender, the man for baguette under the kilt. Welcome, Madscot, to the talk show.
Thank you for having me. It's already a great start to the talk show, so I cannot wait for the rest. Let's go.
I just want to say that just before we get started as well, we've got an Englishman, an Irishman, and a Scotsman on the show. It's just
That's the start of a joke, isn't it? An Irishman and a Scotsman walk into a bar.
Exactly. It's just like the start of a really bad joke. But yeah. I don't have the creativity to come up with what goes next, so I'll leave it to your imagination.
The talk show is what's coming next, basically. And also for Pope, I currently have a pint, Guinness glass, a pint, but it has water in it. But yeah. I'm sorry.
That's fair, dude. It's fair. I can accept that as long as it is.
It's just because I have a sore throat, so I don't want to spend the whole talk show just coughing into the mic. So yeah.
But if you don't push the talk to stop that happening,
True.
So we're gonna get into some Discord news now. Matto, you're gonna tell me what you think of some of these, but we'll start off with some of the serious ones. So mod applications have closed now. I'm pleased to announce that we have 3 new additions to the moderation team. So congratulations to Bass, Dutch Sauce, and Lily Cake for being promoted to the mod team.
Hey.
We still have a couple of interviews to go, but we'll keep you posted on how those go. I just wanted to note that just because anyone that applied wasn't picked this time around, it's not a reflection of yourself, okay? So there were several that we felt just weren't ready to be mod for the moment, but it may be that in the future, they may be the exact candidates that we're looking for. So don't be disheartened if you didn't get chosen this time around. Next time, it might be your moment. So look out for the next round of applications. As for the actual selection process, generally speaking, we all had our own picks, essentially. We argued for our own sort of favorites. The 3 that we've chosen essentially are the results of us debating until we all agreed on the ideal candidates that we'd select for the interviews, right? And what you can see is that you don't have to have been here for months to have been considered, since Lily is basically a newer user, for instance. So
boyfriend bias.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. We did consider the strengths and weaknesses of every single candidate that applied. We got around 20 plus. I can't remember the exact number. I should go in a little bit into what I considered in the process itself, particularly for what I was looking for in applicants. I can't speak for anyone else. But a big thing for me was how much time could be dedicated to moderating, because there were times in the last couple of weeks where so many of the mods were busy with personal things, and at least I would feel that I was basically the only one around at times. So I didn't want to feel like I was on my own during certain times of the day. So I took a look at where people were based to maybe times a little. So North America, Asia-based applicants, I'd take maybe an extra look at for tactical sense. Speaking a second language is also useful because we do get trolls that come in just to troll in the voice channels, and obviously I don't know what they're saying, so it'd be ideal to have someone else. Anyway,
I'm just Counter-Strike chat, by the way.
Okay, then I see how it's going. Another thing was that I looked for was diversity in games that people follow. So, like we have a lot of channels that are basically dead at the moment, or not as active as we'd like them to be. So it'd be useful to have people that are able to host events to kind of grow those channels. So like Call of Duty or FIFA, whatever. Also, how good your application was obviously factored into what I felt, because some put more efforts than others. So I appreciated that because it showed how seriously people took it. Also, in my mind, I chose a variety of different candidates because I also looked at what they could bring. So some people had bot expertise, some people had third-party opinions. They weren't necessarily active here. Some were well-known members of the community, so they could be like a valuable insight on how the current tide is feeling. So those were some of the things that I went into. But just finally on sort of admin points, I just wanted to remind you that if you're having any sort of trouble here or not enjoying your time here for whatever reason, if you're having any issues with a user or another moderator, please contact us, okay? Because I'm always around if you need, and the other mods are too. And if we aren't available, then we'll always forward it on to ensure that things get sorted. So if you do have a problem, like a serious one, please let us know, because we do want you to enjoy your time here as much as possible. So, and we do work.
What Dookie is trying to say, if if you have a mods, if you message a mod and we can't help with it, we'll forward it to another mod or to Uno or to Yannico or to whoever can help you. What we're saying is message us. We will get you help, regardless of what it is. I don't care if it's, I don't care if your phone's fell down a toilet and you're trying to dry it out with rice. I don't care what it is. We will help you in what you need. Just DM us,
Am I dead?
You're back again. Welcome back.
No idea what happened.
We'll send you rice, Ollie. We'll send you rice.
Hope's always here to help you out anyway, so you're in good hands.
That's what I prepared him for, I prepared him for this moment because I knew this would happen.
I've been trained many generations.
I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
So we're going to get into some normal news now. So Johnny celebrated his birthday last week, so happy birthday to Johnny.
Happy birthday!
Hey. Woohoo!
We've also had Alexia, who's requested that I give her a lap dance for her birthday, which I'm not too keen on doing, to be honest, because I can't dance at all.
Alexia, you kinky bitch.
Yuki is a dancer of the gods, honestly, I reckon you just have a man from maybe a 20, you let him go.
Also, Snuffle has died. Someone called Jacob has taken his place. No idea who he is.
That's because he's eaten too much dirt. He had it coming.
The dirt got him. They say if you always beware of cholesterol, be wary of the dirt.
Though in all fairness, he actually is really sick at the moment. So send him your regards, because
Thoughts and prayers.
Your regards? Is he dying? Hello?
Hashtag I am Snuffle.
poor guy has Lyme disease.
Whoa. Geeks, dude, come on.
Anyway.
For real, keep Snuffle in your prayers.
Where were you when Snuffle was death? I was at home playing PC, and you? Snuffle was die. No.
Moving on. Agent Abude has been exposed on the TSM server as being a mod here, so time will tell if he survives the fallout or not. I mean, I don't think we'll take too kindly to him being a Fnatic mod and a TSM mod.
Okay, boys, I've got the pitchforks. You can buy them here. Get your pitchfork emporium out. Let's go. Right.
Quick execution. Get ready. Be there or be square.
Also, Arya called out Traxxax because she asked if he was a dog. So is this the start of new Discord beef? Will hot dogs be on sale? Find out next week. Also, the original critic himself, Sean Dash, was cited the other day for a brief and glorious moment. So if you were lucky, you might have seen him. What do you think about that, Madscot?
Trondash is pretty much like the Eclipse, he's there every 20 years. So you have to be there and take a screenshot to make sure you've actually seen him.
Also, Sean Dosh never the stuff. It's actually been Loki all along, just his alt account. Have you ever heard Sean Dosh and Loki speak in the same room? I haven't.
The mystery thickens.
Oh, also, Pope's girlfriend has actually moved into his house for the month. So if he ever needs relationship advice, he obviously knows where to go.
All about the sliding doors. Hashtag sliding door gate.
Never trust the sliding doors. Sliding doors are some dangerous shit.
Oh, for any FIFA fans out there, we've got the FIFA players joining our server this week, which was pretty cool. They joined, I think, Wednesday. So if you're interested in FIFA, have a look at the channel. We mostly talk football there, but if you are interested in the game, the players are there. There's also going to be an LCS meetup in Paris this weekend. If you're watching LCS finals, Stan, Bloom, and Madscot will be there. If you're in Paris, drop them a message. Go ahead and meet up with them.
And if you're over 18, come to the party. Stan and I are going. It's going to be fucking lit, guys.
That's the self-promotion right there. Oh, and Fnatic have also announced they have a new Paladins team. So I don't know much about that, but thought it was worth mentioning. And finally, Lily dropped her phone in the toilet.
Yeah.
Nice.
Just because she wanted a new one.
It's insurance fraud right there.
Exactly.
The ultimate scheme, just drop the phone in the toilet, get a new one.
Exposed.
It's the perfect crime.
Ever since she's getting that mod money, she's just abusing the system. Disgusting.
I know, abusing our mod rights, SMH.
Taking the Fnatic investors' money, really disgusting. Please just get away with her mod powers. She's just been there and so already just taking all the cash.
I don't know why she had her phone out when she was at the toilet, to be honest.
Oh, she actually gave a statement on us, to be fair. She had it in her dressing gown pocket and stood up. It fell out of her pocket, apparently.
That's the official version.
That's
and
the
there's
official
stuff
version.
that, with LK and we don't want to know. That's like private life stuff, we're not concerned.
Messaging while she's doing business in the toilet. Wow. How flattering.
And she's not modding the Discord while at the toilet, that's what I can say.
Now, moving on from stories with Lily, we're going to have story time with Pope because he wants to get out of the way before we actually get into things. So, Pope, what story do you have with us today?
Okay, so I have a story. This is actually one that's not about me. This is about a friend of mine. He was quite the Tinder user himself, He browsed Tinder, he enjoyed Tinder, he explored, He conquered the 7 seas of Tinder. He's an ex-army guy. He used to work in the British military, I believe, or something along those lines. Basically, he went on a date with a girl, right? It was a one-night stand. That was pretty much all the sort of detail in that date you need. And the girl kept messaging him. She kept wanting, to talk to him and get more, get a relationship with him. He let her knew she wasn't interested, right? He said to her, "Listen, I'm not interested in you, love. I had fun, but, we're not meant to be." So one day, he's sitting in his bedroom, texting, just lying in bed, only out of the shower, lying in his bed. And he gets a phone call from her saying, "I'm coming over." And he says, "No, you're not," and hangs up. The next thing you know, he hears a car pull up outside his house. Right? She gets out of the car. right? He lives on a second story part of the house, right? She climbs up and knocks on his window, right? Now, keeping it vague, this guy is a well-trained military man. The first thing he says to me was, yatter, yatter. And he says to me, the first thing I did when I seen her arm come through the window was I was going to wait on her to put her head through and break her neck, but then I realised that's heavily illegal, so I can't get away with it. So instead, he runs into the bathroom, right? Grabs his towel, he wraps his phone in a towel, and holds it there because he doesn't want her hearing his phone vibration, and locks the bathroom door. Right? He hears her climb in through his window and walk about his bedroom for a solid maybe 4 or 5 minutes. In the meantime, he gets his phone out from the towel, right? And starts texting his friend to come home and help him. Like, help me, there's this girl who's broke into our house. Like, I need help, right? His roommate says, I'm on my way back from work, right? It's been about half an hour. His friend's still not back. This girl is still in their house in his bedroom, right? I'll keep in mind he's hiding butt naked in the shower right now, by the way, right? With his phone, tried to keep wrapping his phone in the towel so it won't vibrate. So she's just walking through in his house, just walking around his room. And he sends his friend text like, "Where are you, dude? I need help. Like, this girl's in our house." And he sends a text, "Sorry, lad, I was getting a bit of McDonald's before I came home. I'm hungry. Did you want anything?" Right? So my friend's like, rings him, says, get the fuck down here. Like, I need help. Like, this guy's here. His friend arrives and pulls up at the door. Right? She hears a car, pulls up and waits for him to walk through the door. She climbs back out the window. Right? Our friend runs out of the bathroom and says to her roommate, like, quick, she just climbed in. She walks up to the front of the house door and knocks on the door, pretending like nothing had happened. She acted like she did not break into the house at all. Right? Just pretended like none of this had happened. Right? She was just like, oh yeah, he said, listen, you were in my room right now. You were in there. Like, I heard you in there, and said, no, I wasn't. What are you talking about? Like, I would never break into anyone's house. Right? I would never do that. That's against like, all this sort of bullshit. And my friend just sat there in his towel, with his phone, completely butt naked with a towel on, just in shock. He couldn't believe it. Eventually, it happened a couple of times after that, and he had to call the police to get a restraining order. But since that, it's been pretty quiet. So, but I don't know. But she must have took it down with her. But like, he said, whenever he went outside, the ladder wasn't there again. But yeah, it was just the fact that he said here, whenever she was sticking her arm through, I was considering breaking her neck on the way in, just to get rid of her. But it was quite the interesting story,
Madscot, what do you think about that?
Oh man, what can I say, man? Never disappointed with Pope stories. It always gets crazier, man. Holy shit, dude. I mean, it's at the point, like, how does he have enough stories for every week? I'm actually surprised.
Oh no, you think this is all he has. It's just the beginning, right? This is why I limit him to just one story a week, because when I was with him in Berlin, every week it would just be, every week, every like minute, it'd just be like, oh yeah, this story reminds me of another story. And it would just go on for hours until I stopped him because I couldn't laugh anymore.
I'm getting Pope for my wedding whenever I get married, because he'll just be the piece of entertainment in there. So,
dude, I write good best man speeches. I've been told,
Speaking of weddings,
I'm not surprised.
Speaking of weddings, LK is meant to propose to Lily because essentially what happened was I asked him, when will you propose to Lily? And he said, when you have a child. So I Guardian, right? He has his name as Son of Loki. So I just at him and I was like, take a look at this, man. And so now he has to deliver.
Get on your knees, LK. Do what's right. Do it for the Discord. Do it for the people.
Guardian's actually a team.
So now, Pope, you need to start the show now. You need to get into it. Get into the personal question.
I have a question for you, Madscot. Now, I don't know if you're ready for this kind of question. How did you get your name?
Ooh, difficult one. No, it's actually, Like compared to other people who've been on the talk show before, it's not like, oh, I've gotten that crazy name from this person, something like that. It's just that, well, it's Mad and Scott, that in itself is not really original. My French friends have always called me Scottish, which is like 10 out of 10 inventions here. It's like, damn, how did you come up with that surname? And Mad is just, well, that's the way I am. It's just I don't do things the other way people do it. And sometimes, well, it's like, it depends on your description of being mad, but it's just like, yeah, I just get a bit crazy sometimes, and people are like, "Can you just calm down?" So I was like, "Madscot," and it sounds like a mascot. So, yay, that's the name. Sorry.
So you actually mentioned French because I know you're also part French, aren't you? So you're Scottish and French. So does that mean that you like baguettes?
I like everything Scottish and French. So baguettes dipped in haggis. That's all me.
How big is your baguette? Do you store it in the kilt or outside the kilt? Do you wrap up the baguette? Do you like a hard baguette or do you like it soft? Like, how do you like it?
All I can say is that it's always hot and crunchy. So
Ho 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 ho. Oui oui.
oui oui oui, en effet.
So, so you're part French and you're part Scottish. So how does that even happen? Explain to us. How does that combination come about?
Well, when a mom and a dad love each other very much, they get together and basically what happened is that my dad's Scottish from Glasgow and my mom's from originally the south of France. And then she went to Scotland and she met my dad there. And I was born in Glasgow, but I was raised in France like my whole life. I went to France at the age of 2 and I've done my whole scholarship over there. The reason being that my dad really wanted me to be to stay bilingual. For him, like the way they teach languages in the UK is that basically it's English and other second language is pretty much useless. So he's like, there's no way I'm letting my son not speak English and French correctly. So he's like, in France, I know they take their second, third languages pretty seriously, and that's what happened. And that's how I'm still able to speak both languages and still have a slight Scottish accent when I speak English or Scottish, depends. But yeah.
Does this mean one half of you wants to be a warrior and the other half wants to surrender all the time? Like, say if England went to war with Scotland, and you were on the front lines, would you charge in and fight? Would half of your body be running and the other half dragging along?
I'd always be running towards, because I'm more of a fight than flight person, to the point where when I get scared, like jump scares, instead of screaming and running away, I'll actually maybe attack the person who's scaring me. My ex-girlfriend did this once when we were living together, and she thought it was smart trying to scare me by hiding by the wall as I was coming out from a room. And instead of screaming and sort of running away, I just grabbed her and smashed her on the wall. And I was like, "Oh my god! I just realized it was you. I was going to crush you, man." Yeah, I'm a bit violent when I get scared. I don't like getting scared. I hate horror movies and jump scares, to the point where it's not like, "Oh god, you got me there." It's like, I'm going to fuck you up, man. Do not scare me ever.
So in close Fnatic games, you must get pretty scared. There must be a lot of broken objects in your house.
Like I've been saying, being a Fnatic fan is an abusive relationship since 4 years now. It's just been ups and downs, to the point where people just see me raging and say the worst things about the team. But still, I'll still support this goddamn team, because I've not been supporting this team for more than 4 years just to let them down now. I love them to bits, but fuck, man, they don't treat me right. They do not treat me right.
So it's almost like, from the sound of it, that you're more Scottish than you are French because of this fight instinct. So I always imagine that the angry side of you is your Scottish side, right? And whenever those rare moments when you're calm, that's your French side. Is that correct, do you think?
I guess you could say so. It's always weird, but I think it's because I've lived in France most of my life that every time I go back to Scotland, I have this feeling that I'm at home. It's like, damn, I kind of really like it here. And there's my friend, there's my dad and family on my dad's side and stuff like that. So, but yeah, it's I guess so. But the thing is like when I'm in Scotland, I'm more like all friendly and stuff like that. It's just when I get really passionate about stuff. I don't know if it's necessarily Scottish or French, but it's just being very passionate about stuff that I enjoy.
So what I wanted to say was, what country do you feel more at home in? And you kind of touched on that with Scotland, but what is it that makes you prefer Scotland over France, do you think?
Well, I don't think it's like me preferring Scotland over France. It's just, when you stay in a country for so long, when you go to another country that's also part of you, you kind of miss it. So it's just like, damn, that's also a part of me in the end. And you cannot deny that. Well, I was born there. I was born in Glasgow. I have lots of friends that I've known literally since I was born. And it's like, it's just great memories I have when I was a kid there, and like Christmas, summertime, and stuff like that. And yeah, it's just it always feels good to be there. And I never stay there for a very long time. It's usually like summer holidays or like holidays during the year. And yeah, I do miss it. And I just think it's because I've lived in France for so long. But like I still enjoy going back to like when I'm in Scotland for the holidays, I go back to France. It's not like damn, I really miss Scotland. It's like I'm happy being in France as well. But it's you're kind of torn. Like you have your dad over there, my mom's here. I have friends on both sides. Many times I've been asked like, where would you rather live? And it's like, can I not just get an island in the middle? And like, yeah, that would be cool. Just have everyone there, and just share the moment. But I mean, that's what life has taken me to. Is just I've had my whole education in France, and I'm still lucky to still go over to Scotland from time to time. So yeah, I mean, I don't mind it.
So, which part, if you had to choose a part of you to stay with you forever and you had to give up the other one, which would it be? The French, you touched on the fact you really enjoy your Scottish part, but if you had to give up one of the other, which would you choose in the end?
Ah man, that's actually quite difficult to be honest. I don't know. I mean, actually, I'd say like seeing the way things are going on right now, like political side and just the the sort of environment there is, I'd go for Scotland. I don't know. I just feel there's less animosity in general. It's just more enjoyable. People are more tolerant. Despite the huge like immigration waves we've been having. Like Scotland always had like a lot of immigration, people from Pakistan, and even now we're getting people from Syria that just fleeing away from the war. And I don't, well, the feeling I get from last time I went, I don't feel like we're blaming them from coming to our country. We're actually quite tolerant, quite welcoming, and we're making sure that they manage to adapt to a whole new lifestyle, whole new country, whole new culture. Because I can't even imagine being torn away from my country from the war, maybe losing my parents on the way, and just having to move somewhere else, and people are saying we actually don't like your kind, please go back home. And you're like, well, going back home would mean certain death for me, so I don't really have a choice. It's not me coming to invade your country, it's me running away from people wanting to fucking kill me. So I mean, in France, it's just like even the latest election, having the far extreme right party coming to the second round is just very, very scary of the mentality of people there. And in Scotland, I don't know, maybe it's just me being extremely biased or not living long enough in Scotland to realize that maybe mentalities have changed. But every time I've been there, I've never felt like we've rejected people who are different than us, and instead we've actually made sure that they felt welcomed and managed to live a decent life here.
Because I think that actually, even in England, we kind of have that hostility towards immigrants, not just refugees, but immigrants in general.
Oh, definitely. That I mean, I was in London when the whole Brexit thing happened, and I followed the campaigns, and I was just disgusted by the whole UKIP campaign and how you don't base Brexit from the feeling that you feel that the European Union is not a good economic situation for you, but you're just saying, oh, there's too much immigration, they're stealing our jobs and stuff like that. That's like, holy shit, dude, that is arguments from 50 years ago and more. It's like, that's just disgusting, man. And it's like I do understand that the European Union is not the best in many ways. It's actually fucked up many countries that were doing well for themselves, but you have to look at the opportunities as well. And I mean, the most like hypocritical thing from the UK is that they've never been totally engaged in the European Union. They've always had like most of the benefits and not a lot of the downsides of the European Union. And to say that they're just coming out of that they're doing Brexit to get independence is like, the UK has been a colonial state for years now, and they're talking about taking independence. Fuck off. Fuck off. You've taken people's independence for years now, and you're like, oh, we're taking our own independence? Please. You've created the Commonwealth. You've created countries that are dependent of you. So, yeah, I mean, when I was I was looking at the election, the Brexit, and I was like, how is this happening? Like, how are people that stupid to realize that, yeah, indeed the European Union is not good, but going away from it is a huge, huge problem for any country. But yeah, I mean, it's weird, man. It's really weird that we're starting to divide ourselves for stupid reasons, and I'm really scared sometimes when I see that people are just being full blown out racist, and they're like, oh, it's free speech. It's free speech. No, it's not free speech. Hate is not free speech. Hate is condemnable. You're not allowed to hate on people. You're allowed to share opinions, that, about immigration, saying maybe it's too much, maybe we need to control, but it's not a reason to hate on people, I mean, it's not because someone is Muslim, African, even white, that did something bad that you have to condemn a whole culture, and yeah, that really bothered me when I was in London, and it even puts even more into perspective like my Scottish heritage and just the way we treat people instead. So yeah, that's probably one of the reasons. I was saying like, I mean, Scotland and England on that side, they're so different.
I think that what's clear for you is like it's very much the internal culture, that spirit that everyone is welcome, so long as so long as you're welcoming them, then they're always welcome. And this sort of rhetoric of denying people because of what they look like or where they come from is very very much important to you. Where does that spirit for you come from? So where does that acceptance of other people come from for you?
I'd say it just comes from our history, basically. We've always been a nation that's been attacked and just put down by England. We've actually lost our culture from the English Empire, who've taken away the tartan and all the symbols of our Celtic heritage, and just to make sure that we lost our identity. And I think that, don't do to others what you wouldn't want to do on yourself. So it's like, we kind of understand what people are, going through when they've been, going through attacks from other people and just being on aggressions from people who just want to destroy them and their culture. So I think, we're just a very welcoming country. We just want to be who we are. We have a very deep history, very deep culture that goes to the Celtics and the Picts and all that, even with the Irish people. Pope, big up. And, exactly. So it's like, we have this heritage, we have this culture, and for us, there's no reason for us to hate on people. If people love our culture, we're just very happy to share it in the end. So in the end, when people come over to visit Scotland, we're just very happy to show our culture, show our country, and just make sure that they have a great time in the end. So even if you're coming there, if just on vacation, or if you plan to come here because you've been thrown away from your country because it's a total war field, it's just come here, and as long as you're not a problem for us, then we won't be a problem for you.
So speaking of culture and time and how things develop and culture develops over time because of influences, one of the things that I would quite find interesting is food, because obviously food is the result of hundreds of years of countries making the most of what ingredients they have. So which food do you think matches you more, the Scottish food or the French food?
I'd actually say a bit of both. I'm a pretty big eater, as you can see on the picture. My face is a bit round and fat, and like Scottish food really sticks to you. You know, like some nice meat pies, some nice haggis, like even fish and chips. You know, that's just British in general. So I'm really fond of like comfort food, but I do enjoy like more refined food in France. I do love the baguette in general. It's just really nice, and like France is just a culture of nice cuisine, you know, as we call it. And you know, I really enjoy both. You know, there's the very big fat eater side that's from the Scottish side, and then there's like the French side who, you know, just wants to take a break and just wants to go into more quality food instead.
Well, on what? Where would be your favorite holiday destination? Where in the world would you like to try for food and experience or culture? Where would you like to visit for your dream holiday?
That's very easy. Japan. I want to go to Japan since I was a kid. It's my dream destination. I love I love Asian food in general, but I'm a big fan of Japanese food. I just love I'm so respectful of the Japanese culture in general. And no, it's not about being a weeb. It's just in general. It's not mangas kawaii. It's just like Japanese people are awesome. I was at a wedding last Friday, and my friend's wife is Japanese, and she had like family from her Japanese side, and they are such amazing people. Very curious. I was wearing a kilt, by the way. Oh, you know, and they were like so curious about where it came from and stuff like that. So they're amazing people, and I just want to get to know more from the mangas I've read. Is like the basic culture I know of, but I'm just so curious to know more about those people and what makes them so great in general.
No, that actually makes sense to me because I know that we both watch Abroad in Japan, which is a YouTube channel.
Exactly.
I watch it for different reasons because I mean, I'm not too bothered if I don't never get to go to Japan, to be honest. But I mostly watch it because of the host and the characters that he has with him, because I find them so entertaining. But why don't you tell the audience what Abroad in Japan is as a channel and what do you like about it?
So Abroad in Japan, basically, it's a British dude who went to Japan as an English teacher, and basically for like European people or Western people in general to go to Japan and stay for a long time, you have to have like a work visa. And one of the best ways to go there is usually, being an English teacher. That's like the best way, and that's how most people manage to get there. And he just does like, I wouldn't say like daily, but it's between daily and weekly videos about Japanese culture, whether it be the countryside, cities, the food, hotels, the cost of living in Japan, stuff like that. And he's really, I mean, I like his humor because it's, the cynical British humor, which I'm really fond of. And it's just really interesting in general. And for me, it's kind of a way to live in Japan, more or less. So that's amazing. Sylvan, big fan. That might be my new avatar. But yeah, it's really interesting, and for me, it's a way to get to know more until the day I actually managed to go to Japan. So, I mean, Loki and I are big fans of it, and his content is actually quite interesting in general. So even if I'm on the booth hockey, we'll get to that eventually. But yeah. I suggest if you enjoy Japan and its culture, you should check him out. He's actually got tons of videos that are quite funny in general, so go for it.
Well, what other YouTube channels do you like apart from Abroad in Japan? Is there any other ones you have a specific interest in?
I do watch a lot of how do you call it? League of Legends based channels. I follow like Darius, Voyboy, Cutie Pie. I also follow Trick2G, who is like one of my favorite streamers from a very long time ago. Actually, I have to have a.
Oh, we've lost him.
I watch Spencer FC from he's a British YouTuber who does all stuff about football, which are pretty cool. What else? I also watch like Super Beat Bros. A lot of like gaming channels, but not. Well, I watch about PewDiePie, but I'm not subscribed to him. But I used to watch him like when he had just started, and he was still doing like jump scare videos. And yeah, that's about it in general. Just of course H2H3. What's his name? Penguin, Critical, and iDubbbz, who I think are very funny.
Moving on from that, do you think any of your YouTube channels match your hobbies? Is there any, what are your hobbies, and do any of these channels actually relate to them, bar gaming, of course?
I mean, in terms of hobbies, yeah, I think my main hobbies are really around video games since I was a kid. They've always been around this, but it's not just like about watching video games. I mean, from my studies have been in business in general. I've always been really interested in like the video game business and esports business now, and that's what that's like the other angle I approach video games now. I think they're really interesting to see the evolution. I actually did my final paper to get my master's degree in business on video games and how it evolved throughout times, and I actually wrote a big part on esports and how the business has evolved and how marketing as well, because I've specialized in marketing, business marketing, so I've done like a whole focus on like marketing, how brands manage to promote their team and how they manage to get sponsors as well. So yeah, but apart from that, yeah, I mean, my YouTube, I'd say in general, is kind of a reflection of who I am, especially in terms of like my passion for League of Legends. But it's just like one side of course, wrestling. There we go. Yeah. I follow What Culture, which is a British wrestling in general channel, and that's where I get my news. I don't watch WWE on a weekly basis because it's usually late at night, but I still try to keep up because I used to watch this quite a lot with my friend in Scotland, and we used to watch the Attitude Era, and I always try to kind of keep up now because I still think it's fun, and even though it's maybe not as hype as it used to be, there's still some good stuff on like the indie promotions and stuff like that. So yeah.
Speaking of wrestling, so why don't you tell me a bit more about that? Because I know that's quite a huge passion of yours, actually. How did you get into it? Because I know that some people aren't into it at all because they're like, oh, it's quite fake, or it's scripted or whatever. So how did you end up getting into wrestling, and what do you like about it?
So just to answer Oli's question, Hardy Brothers for life. I love the Generation X, but I'm a huge Matt Hardy fan ever since he was in the Hardy Boys. Basically when we would play fake wrestling with my friend over in Scotland, I would just always be like Matt Hardy, and I was always do like the twist of fate and stuff like that.
In any case, why don't you tell us more about the Hardy Brothers for those who don't know wrestling? Because we have a lot of people in the chat that don't know any of these names at all. So why don't you just explain who these people are?
So basically, the Hardy Boys used to be Matt Hardy and Jeff Hardy. At the time of the Attitude Era, they were part of this growing tag team scene that had them, that had the Dudley Boys, that had Edge and Christian, and that had like many others. But those were like the trifecta. The table, chairs, ladders and chairs match were so good. And I was a big fan of them because they had this whole high flying style, and they would always do like twist of fates into the Swanton Bomb. And Jeff Hardy probably has broken so many bones from those insane stunts he's done. Like, this guy just jumps from ladders that touch the sky, and he'll friggin' flip on you with a Swanton Bomb, and he's amazing. But they've had like a stunt where they were together. Then obviously Jeff Hardy has always been like the brother who the kids connect with more, so he had like a better solo career, and Matt kind of faded away. And then they kind of brought it back in TNA where they had this whole delete scheme with basically Matt Hardy turning to broken Matt Hardy because Jeff pulled like a Swanton Bomb on him that broke him. And yeah, exactly. Okay, delete. And people were laughing at him because they're saying, oh, it's so ridiculous. But it's so ridiculous that it was amazing. And now that they're back in the WWE, they do not have the rights to use this gimmick because TNA is actually claiming the rights for this gimmick. And I'm just waiting for the time where they actually are able to use this gimmick, because when they came back at WrestleMania, when they were in TNA, and no one's saying, well, I don't know, they weren't in TNA anymore. They had left TNA. They were just doing indie scenes. But no one was expecting them to come back. And then when they hit the Hardy Boys sound, the friggin' crowd going, delete, delete, gave me chills, man. And for me, when I saw them come back, it was just me being a kid again, being 8 years old in front of the TV screen and saying, oh my God, they're back. I can't believe it. They're actually back in the WWE. I was freaking out, dude. And yeah, I mean, I'm just really happy they're back. And I just hope they're used properly, you know, to push new talents, because they've done their time. They're, well, in their 40s now. And, you know, it's not a bad thing if they don't have the title. They had a title run, which was pretty cool, pretty nice for their return. And, you know, if they can just manage to put new talents out there, it's pretty cool. Yeah, I saw that, LK. I saw that. I think it's kind of a shame that they're already splitting the tag team so early. But, I mean, it was going to come eventually because Jeff, you know, Jeff is Jeff. He just gets the kid, and he's the Swanton Bomb guy. He's the guy that does the stunts. And I think so. I think the delete is incoming. There's always, like, legal talks going right now. But hopefully this leads to a broken Matt Hardy angle, and Ric Flair's still alive. Do not press F. He is still alive. He's still going, woo! Oh yeah, baby!
Now, Madscot, LK and I have this list going, right, where we've just for fun decided to compare people to wrestlers just for the fun of it. We've likened you to someone called Rowdy Roddy Piper, who was this insane Scottish dude that was just brilliant.
He's actually American, but whatever.
Was he actually American?
He's actually American. Maybe he has like Scottish descendants, but he's either American or Canadian, you know. Usually they give like foreign gimmicks to Canadian, like even Jinder Mahal, he's actually Canadian. And yeah, and he's like, they're doing this whole Indian shtick, but go ahead.
So what do you think about the comparison between you and him? Do you think it's accurate, or who do you think you should be?
I mean, it's kind of the easy way to say, oh, Scottish dude is the dude that used to do the Scottish gimmick, you know. I guess there's some side where he was a bit like Unchained sometimes, and, you know, just start smacking people for the sake of it. But yeah, Andre the Giant, man, France, one of the greatest wrestlers. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm a big Matt Hardy fan, so I wouldn't mind him. Or if we want to go with the mad side, maybe Dean Ambrose for the unhinged. Like, this is like the whole shtick they have for him on the commentary is like, oh my God, he's unhinged. It's like, yeah, he's not doing anything unhinged. Like, if you compare him when he was on CWZ, where it's actually very gory indie scene, where there's actually, the more blood there is, the happier the people are. Yeah, it's just like, he's not near being that unhinged on WWE, but I guess, you know, that would be the closest for me.
So moving on from wrestling, I assume that you must also watch movies, for instance, for some of your downtime. So what would you pick as your favorite movie of all time?
The Big Lebowski. And there's like nothing, and that, or maybe like Tim Burton movies, which I really appreciate, but like The Big Lebowski defines my life. I want to be the dude. Like my other nickname is also the dude, or Mike the Dude, because I just love this movie so much. I've seen it like God knows how many times, to the point where I actually know the sentences by heart. And in France, there was actually a movie feature to actually go see. I don't know if it was like 10 years of the Big Lebowski or something. And the thing was, like, you could see the movie for free if you were disguised as the dude, which is like wearing a nightgown, some slippers, and like socks and slippers. And yeah, that was pretty cool. So I actually went there disguised, and it was amazing, man. So many fans, and just watching the movies. And they had like different activities. They had like cocktails and donuts and stuff like that, and you could play Wii bowling while waiting for the movie, which was I thought was a really nice touch because it's a big theme in the movie that they're all playing bowling. So yeah, Big Lebowski is it's so good, man. It's just like your opinion, man. You know, if you flash a piece on the lane, I take it from your hand, stick it up your ass, and pull the trigger until it goes click. Jesus. You said it, man. Nobody fucks with the Jesus. 8-year-olds, dude. Yeah, I just know it by heart, man. I just friggin' love this movie so much. I could watch it anytime. It would never get old.
Is there any movies you've watched recently that would be in your favorite? You know, say in the past couple of years. You know, not your favorite, obviously, because you've already expressed there's nothing that could even touch it. But you know, is there anything recently that has came out that has sort of caught your interest and maybe got into your top 10 or top 5?
Well, the thing is that those past years I haven't seen a lot of new movies. When I used to work in Paris for my internships, I used to go out quite a lot with my friends and watch movies. But that was like maybe 2 or 3 years ago. So if that still counts, I'm a big fan of Kingsman, which is such a great movie. I did not know what to expect, especially with is that Hugh Grant who's in there? No, it's not Hugh Grant. What's his name?
I don't know.
It's just this guy who's always in very romantic British movies, and you see him in there, and he's just like, "What the hell?" And I thought that was amazing. And what else? The same period, it was, what was it? The movie about Second World War and how they invented computers, and they were trying to decipher this Nazi code box. It's Imitation Game. Thank you. Yes, such a good game, man. I do enjoy Trainspotting quite a lot. I'm looking forward to the. Hasn't been out yet?
It's out. It's well out. It's been out a couple months.
Oh shit! Damn. See, I'm not Scottish enough then. No.
Oh.
I know. I'm putting everyone down here. Yeah, Imitation Game was amazing. Other than that, the latest Star Wars movie. I've been a huge Star Wars fan since I was a kid. I was actually quite lucky to go see the original 3 Star Wars movie at the cinema because I was in Glasgow at the time, and they were about to bring out the first movie of the prequel, and before that they were like, we're just going to put the original trilogy out. So I saw them when I was a kid, and I think it had such a huge impact on me that I loved the series. I might not be like the biggest Star Wars nerd, but I really enjoy it. Like when the Star Wars opening credits open and you get da da, I just get chills every time. When the trumpet's just going, is like da, and I'm like, there we go, baby, Star Wars movie, let's go, and it just gets me hyped as fuck, man. And yeah, I mean, I was so much into those movies when I saw them originally at the cinema that I actually cried when Han Solo got frozen. I actually thought he died. For me, he was dead, and I was just like crying the whole way to the car. And my mom was saying, like, "Don't worry, it's fine. You'll get an ice cream once you get home." And I just couldn't wait to get home. But yeah, I was like, oh man, and I was so mad because friggin' Luke Skywalker was getting the girl, and like many times, I always associate with like the friendly guy who never gets the girl because that's pretty much my life. Feels bad, man, in the chat. But I'm always like, damn, Han Solo is the hero, man. He needs to get the girl, and then she's just kissing Luke Skywalker. I'm like, fuck, man, we never get the girl, man. and then in like the final movie, like Return of the Jedi, and I like she's like, yeah, he's my brother. I'm like, fucking come on, man, Han Solo for the win, let's go. Yeah, but Han Solo is the fucking beast, man. I mean, I love Harrison Ford in general. He's such a great actor. Big fan of the Indiana Jones movies as well, and yeah, that's just me being a huge Star Wars fan.
Now you're gonna probably crucify me for this, but I actually didn't think the prequels were that bad.
I actually enjoyed the prequels. despite for some characters, I feel people are just memeing it to the ground, to the fact like, you know, it's like, do you actually hate it, or are you just hating it because it's cool hating it? I mean, like, I'll give you like Jar Jar Binks is such an awkward character, but I mean, it's actually interesting in terms of character development for, you know, some people. I mean, I'll give you that the dialogue isn't the best in you know, in some concern, but I mean, in terms of like movies, I enjoyed it. You know, I enjoyed the action. I just thought it was they were good movies. They're not obviously as good as the original trilogy, but you know, they're still enjoyable. I don't think you have to go in saying, "Oh my God, they're so bad. I'll never watch them." It's like they're fine. You know, they're not as good, but they're decent. You know, they're decent.
I always
Enjoy.
appreciated that the prequels actually brought something new to the table as well, like the even just the vehicles, the cities, and I always found that.
Yeah, I enjoy that too. I actually have a book about all the like vehicles from the prequels and stuff like that, and it's actually quite interesting to, you know, see the inspiration for those vehicles in general and just like the ships and stuff like that.
Well, I think Obi-Wan Kenobi is probably the best character for me.
Oh, obviously, yeah. After Han Solo, but yeah,
No one can even touch Han Solo for Madscot.
Han Solo is a fucking hero, man.
Sure, you must
He's
be
the
upset.
rebel. I am a rebel at heart. I'm French and Scottish, you know. We're born rebels, you know.
So the thing is that the rebels didn't actually surrender in the end. So does that actually conflict?
Hey man, listen. We fought hard. I mean, yeah.
That your real question: how upset are you at the newest Star Wars for a bar the 1 to 4 Rogue One? Did that upset you at all?
Dude, I like to consider myself as a man's man, you know, as a big tough guy, but damn, I'll be lying if I did not shed a tear or two when my boy. Oh man, why did they have to kill him, man? No!
I feel you, bro.
God,
I
I'm
feel you,
so
bro.
sad, dude. It's like, oh man, I was at the cinema and you know, like the Han Solo's reaction when he gets pierced by the lightsaber when, you know, he's short of breath. I was being pierced as well. It's like, no way, no way, no way, not him, man. I was like, oh my god. And now Franken, Carrie Fisher is dead in real life. Come on, man. That's even. I'm so sad. I'm just so sad.
So did you ever watch like the TV shows? Like were there any TV shows that you watched, like the Star Wars ones maybe, or anything else?
I used to watch a bit of the cartoon ones they did when you know, the kind of fillers between I think second and third episodes when they have the whole Clone Wars. Yeah, the Clone Wars. I didn't like watch all the episodes, but I did watch some of them, and I thought the art style was amazing, the storytelling was incredible, and yeah, I think, you know, it's it's a great way. You know, if you're not happy with the prequels, watch this, and it's amazing. It's such a shame. I think that um, George Lucas said that they're not canon when there's the lore inside those cartoons is so deep, and you actually, you know, like the stand. Well, I wouldn't say standard Jedi's, but Jedi's, you know, you only see as like cameos or just on the side during big fighting scenes. You actually get to know more about them in those cartoons, and it's actually quite interesting to know more. Like, damn, this is actually some deep lore.
So speaking of cartoons, were there any like cartoon shows that you grew up watching? Like I remember like I used to watch cartoons all the time when I was a kid, like Looney Tunes, Tom and Jerry, Johnny Bravo, whatever it was. Just like I was glued to Cartoon Network. So what were your shows growing up?
We have a quick comment. Can I throw in here? If you really want to see a social uproar, my favorite cartoon was Naruto and Death Note.
Yeah, Naruto was more the manga. In France, what they did is like Channel 4, which is like the cable channel. Sometimes they have like free cable moments, so you don't have to have cable to actually see the programs. And they had this program that would just air after school, which would show just anime. And this is where I was introduced to a lot of anime, like GTO, Full Metal Alchemist, Noir, Exo Saga, which is hilarious. But in terms of like normal, like Western cartoons, I used to watch the Batman cartoons, which were amazing, where Mark Hamill used to do the Joker. So good. Big fan of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, have lots of toys. Um, what else? I'm pretty sure that there's cartoons I used to watch quite a lot, but I'm forgetting right now. Yeah, I mean, well, Power Rangers, of course. Can't can't deny those.
Oh,
Friggin'
SpongeBob.
SpongeBob was a bit later for me, to be honest. Like, I was a bit older. So, I mean, I would still watch them, but I wouldn't consider them as like cartoons I used to watch as a kid. But
Just want to interrupt quickly. LK's talking about cartoons, and we all know that he was watching black and white cartoons back in the day.
Yeah, that's me. I'm actually a big fan. I mean, it's not really a cartoon, but I love like old school Mickey Mouse, like Steamboat Willie. I love the art style, really. And like I have a couple of T-shirts with Mickey, and people are saying, "Oh, you have like Mickey T-shirts." Like, yeah, do not diss Steamboat Willie, Mickey Mouse era. It is amazing. It's just simple cartoons, very funny, but it's so good.
Well, since you're going to be having maybe a karaoke night tonight, what's your favorite type of music to jam it out to? You know.
Big fan of rock and metal music. My favorite band of all time is the Red Hot Goddamn Chili Peppers. I've seen them 4 times, and they're the best. They've lasted 20 more years. Dragon Force I love as well because they're just so funny, and it's just so. See, I was talking about this friend I have in Scotland, who's a friend I've had since I was born. He's introduced me to a lot of stuff I like today. He's introduced me to Linkin Park. Rest in peace, Chester. He's introduced me to Dragon Force as well, and to a lot of rock music I listen to. He's also introduced me to wrestling. He's introduced me, well, more or less to video games. He had the Sega. I used to have Nintendo consoles. I played a lot of Sonic games and like Dreamcast as well at his place. And what else? But yeah, big fan of Sonic Adventure 2 is pretty good. I've actually gotten it on Steam when they were doing the sale and completed it the other day. It's amazing. But yeah, big fan of rock and metal music. I love going to concerts. I was at a Foo Fighter concert last month. I also went to see U2, Phil Collins. I've got Jamiroquai, who I'm a big fan of, coming up. I've got Gorillaz, who I love to death. I love their style. It's so unique. Who did I go see this year? When I was over in London, I went to see so many concerts. I went to see Biffy Clyro. I went to see the Red Hot Chili Peppers again. I went to see The Darkness, who are a British band who are so good, man. They're so funny. I went to see Billy Talent a couple of times as well. Who else? I mean, that's the main ones I went to see. But yeah, I do believe in a thing called love. Just listen to the rhythm of my heart. I mean, they're old, but they're still rocking. They're bringing out an album, so I mean, you better respect Lily before I come with this, this dress that comes down to their crotch area. Yeah, they're actually. I've actually got a ticket concert for that. I think it's December. You're going to love them again, Lily. Don't worry, they're amazing. But yeah, I just love going to concerts. I'll just spend all the money that I don't have on concert if I can see my favorite artists. And yeah, I just missed on the Metallica concert because it was way too expensive. I did go see them at the Stade de France. They were doing the anniversary for the Black Album, which is arguably one of their best albums. And yeah, just big fan of. Oh, I also went to see AC/DC years ago. But yeah, big fan of rock and roll, and metal in general.
Now, you also work in esports, right? That's how you.
Exactly, yeah.
So that you touched on that earlier. That's how you pay for all these tickets, right? You work in esports currently, so.
Well, right now, yeah. I've been working in esports like fairly recently. Beforehand, it was just like internships and parents helping me out as well.
So run through what your job is for us, and what do you like and dislike about it?
Right. So my job is working in human resources in esports, which is we're a small company. Basically, it's just me and my colleague who go to esports organizations, and we, if they're looking for new employees and stuff like that, we help them find those employees, because the problem in the industry right now is that when esports organizations are growing, they try to hire people themselves, and they kind of, get fooled by people who say, "Oh, I'm a huge expert in esports," and they've basically, you know, just watched maybe an LCS game and a Counter-Strike game from time to time, and they're suddenly experts. And once they get hired, they're like, they're actually pretty bad. Why are they even, in my company? So we're like making sure that we're bringing the right people for them, and we have this like network, and we also have this expertise to find people who are the right fit for those organizations. So for instance, if you think like taking someone from the video game industry is going to fit in the esports industry, is going to work, well, you're a fool, because it's like saying, oh, JD Sports, they make footballs. They'll definitely work in a football organization. It's not because you make the game that you're the right fit for the competition of the game. So, no, I'm not, and like I don't hire teams. It's like I hire for the organizations. Talk to Finlay or whoever. Yeah, I mean, it's not hard to be better than Nico, but that'll be for later. In any case, so right now we've been having kind of ups and downs with the clients that have been coming in, to the point where at the time I was supposed to like work from home and then join him in London to work full time. However, since we haven't had those revenues come in, I cannot move to London, and he cannot pay me full time on a longer time. So it's to the point where right now for the next 2 months I might not get paid, but that's kind of the challenge of a small company. It's like sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. So we're working hard to make sure we're getting to our goals, and right now I'm making sure that we're getting our name out there through social media. We're doing a podcast on a sort of weekly basis with like big names in the esports world. So we're just trucking along and making sure that in the end we manage to achieve our goals. But I'm just lucky that right now I'm staying at my parents' house, even though at my age it's kind of weird. But I'm just taking that on myself to achieve my dreams, because from my point of view, it's the only way for me to work into esports, and I'm not letting it go. Esports has been my passion for years now. I just love it so much. I don't see me working elsewhere. So if that's the challenge, if that's the risks I have to take, then I'll gladly take them if at the end I manage to reach my destiny.
Well, that actually leads into our next section. How did you get it?
Wait.
Oh, wait. Oh, yes. I'm an idiot.
I have one last question. I'm going to interrupt you. So, because Pope has his own story section at the very beginning of the show, right, where he tells us his crazy stories. Before we move on, I want to know, do you have any of your own stories that you could share with us?
Oh man, do I have a crazy story? My life is actually pretty boring. I'm gonna disappoint a lot of people here, but damn, let me see. Do I have a crazy story? Jeez, I might have, but maybe like later in the talk show it might come back to me. But I'm trying to think, because like I used to work in a fast food restaurant, and there's always been like very weird stuff, like customers meeting me at the ACS. Yeah, that's a meme in itself. Okay. But I mean, yeah, I used to work in a fast food chain before, and I'd have like customers blame me for certain menu items that wouldn't be on the menu, and like I would be the sole responsible for it, and they would be like, "Oh, we usually don't, we hate fast foods, and we're only coming here for this burger," and I'm like, "What do you want me to do? I'm very sorry, but." Like I am not. If I was at the head of the fast food chain, I would not be talking to you right now. But yeah, like I love like different anecdotes like this, which me just simple worker being blamed for the company, which is very weird, but it's not that great of a story in the end. But maybe I'll have a crazy story coming back to me later on. But yeah, right now it's not great.
Speaking of fast food, I used to work at KFC briefly to help pay for school, university. So there's one person came in once and asked if we sold fish, and I had to explain to him like, "Sir, we're KFC. We do chicken. We don't do fish." And then he was just like, "No, but it's the same thing, right? Fillet of fish, fried chicken." I'm like, "So fish comes from the sea, and chickens are raised on a farm, you see." And he's just like, "Yeah, but why don't you sell it? Why don't you sell fish?" And I have to like somehow diplomatically explain to this guy without making him sound like a moron why we don't do fish at KFC. I mean, I even said to him like, "It's in the name, sir. It's KFC. It's Kentucky Fried Chicken. It's not Kentucky Fried Fish." So he didn't leave too. I mean, obviously he did the typical, "I want to see your manager." That didn't end too well for him because obviously there's only so much a manager can do, and he can't produce fish from nothing. So that's my story for you guys.
Yeah, I've had like a lot of similar ones as well. I used to work in like the French competitor for McDonald's, but McDonald's so big, so obviously it's like, "Oh, can I have a Big Mac?" And you would say like the equivalent of the fast food. And they would be like, "Oh yeah, that one." Or some of them would just try to troll you, and they were like, no, Big Mac," and you're like, "Right, fair enough, whatever, dude. You have your joke, man. You just have your moment there, no problem at all." But yeah, it's just like different moments of. I mean, working in a fast food chain, you're always bound to have like weird anecdotes. Like one time, I mean, I was coming in and I see like my manager talking to this guy in a suit, and I go in and they're like, "Oh, by the way, we're getting like a full staff control by the guy. He's like you know at the head of the chain, and he's making sure that we're working properly." And I was like, "All right, fair enough." And it was like a very busy day, and they were like, "Right, Michael, you're taking care of cleaning the whole restaurant. Figure yourself that this restaurant was like 2 or 3 stories high, and I had to take care of everything." And I was basically running a freaking cleaning marathon because you'd clean one story and you'd have to like bring the bins that were at the top story, and then you would have to bring them down again. And just the time you did this back and forth, you had to clean the same area again. So yeah, it was really hectic, and I actually got like a good mark. I actually felt pretty proud of myself, but in the end, I was like, "Yeah, you're just cleaning shit, dude. You're not doing anything special." But yeah.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Fast food struggles.
Pope, you have my permission to move on.
Thank you, sir. Back to the earlier point about you working in esports. How did you get into Fnatic? When did you start supporting them? What brought you to them?
Basically, when I used to play more regularly, basically I used to have like the game very long time ago, like close to when the beta came out, but I never had like decent internet where I used to stay to be able to play. However, when like I had like internet to be able to play the game correctly, I used to like watch YouTube videos to kind of improve, and I fell on like LCS videos, and that's where it's like, "Oh, there's a professional scene, huh?" And I saw like Xpeke and guys like that, and I was like, "This guy looks pretty cool. What team is he on?" And I was like, "Oh, okay, this is the team I'm going to follow now." And at the time, it was Worlds 2013, and so I was kind of looking around. I think it was already like well advanced into the playoff stage, so Fnatic was more or less out. But yeah, I was like, "Yo, I'm gonna follow the LCS and you know see what happens." Unfortunately, like in 2014, I didn't really have time to follow, so I was just like looking at scores and stuff like that. And in 2014, I went to see the finals at a cinema in Paris with some good friends of mine, which just kind of reinforced my passion for the game and the pro scene in general. And I think 2015 is where I could like follow the LCS. Yeah, Fnatic and chill basically. It was really cool, and they were also doing like swag giveaways and stuff like that. In any case, 2015 is when I really followed LCS, and this is where they had the whole team change with Reckless leaving. Oh, Reckless, Expecke, and so as in the whole gang just leaving and just having yellow stars behind. And it's like, okay, we have these two Korean guys. We've never had like foreign players, so we'll see how it works. And ever since, I'm like Huni's biggest fan. I love this guy to bits, and yeah, just huge Fnatic fan in the end, and that's why I'll keep supporting them. Even there's been 2016, which we did not talk about, but yeah, I mean, even then, I've never dropped ship to go somewhere else. It's just I'm such a fan of Fnatic. I don't see myself dropping them. Like, you can see me rage in a Discord, see the most terrible things ever, but I'll never drop Fnatic. You will see me. I was raging. I was saying I'm going to sell my ticket. I'm not going to see Fnatic not play the finals. But I was like, fuck it, man. I'm still going to see them play third, and I'll be damned if I do not raise the fucking roof in Paris to support Fnatic. So yeah. No, I'm not a G2 fan, Stan. I have not sold my soul like you have. I will find you in Paris, Stan, and I will convert you fully.
You actually.
Can I just answer,
Yeah,
Lyndon? If Fnatic wasn't a thing, what team would you most likely cheer for? I'd probably cheer for. Well, at the time, I'd probably cheer for Gambit because, well, Moscow 5, they were so amazing, and I loved what's his name? What's the top laner's name at the time? From Darian. Oh my god, this guy was hilarious. I love. Basically, it's very easy for me to be a fan of your organizations. You just need someone I really get close to, and Darian, he was hilarious, man. I loved him. It's just this friggin' troll face, and Darian. I used to play. I think like one of the first videos I found of Darian was the edit of him, going on the stage and smoke weed every day being played at the back, and I was just like, who is this guy? Why is he being memed on this? And yeah, that would probably be it. But if Fnatic wasn't a thing today, I don't know, to be honest. I wouldn't. I don't know. I mean, if Fnatic wasn't a thing when I started following, it'd be Gambit. If I started following today and Fnatic wasn't a thing, either H2K of Unicorns of Love, and I know you're already making faces, but if you're from outside of the scene, Unicorns of Love have a. I mean, they have a. I mean, Misfits are cool as well, but in terms of like fan base and just bringing the hype, Unicorns of Love are actually pretty good at it, and H2K have a great online presence. So I think it's between the two, and Romain Bijard, who is the manager, just puts in so much energy to entertain people and just to make sure that this fan base stays the way it is. I have so much respect for this guy, the way he's just committed to the team and the way he's made it what it is. Just coming out in those costumes, he's like one of the only ones doing it, and I think a lot of teams should inspire themselves and get mascots or stuff like that. And yeah, mascots, Madscot. I'll see you coming. So yeah.
I actually had a theory about this mod, Scott, about you being a Unicorns of Love fan, simply due to the fact Scotland's national animal is in fact a unicorn.
It is indeed.
Does this have any ties to the fact that UOL would be one of the teams you would have chosen?
I don't think so. I'm just like really, impressed by the fan base they have, even though sometimes it can be a bit over the top. But I just really like when people get together and support their team, and this is what really attracts me in organizations. Just being able to come up with that in the end. So, I mean, it's like as much as UOL sucked in this split, it's really a shame they're not in Paris because I'm sure the noise would have been amazing. but it's still going to be huge because the Paris crowd is huge. They've already planned like tons of chants where actually based on like a bit controversial songs. I'd say I've spoken about it with Stan because we're both from business schools, and those are more or less chants that are based from business schools, and they're a bit dirty initially, but whatever. And yeah, I mean that's what I really enjoy in the end, in an organization and in sports. It's just the energy of the crowd, and I feel like UOL are very good with that.
You actually answered this question I'm about to ask you earlier. I was going to ask your favorite Fnatic player, but you said it was Hune. Would this also relate to why you love EOL? He's just such a social presence, you feel what I mean? Like, he's just such a lovable guy, so active, so, happy.
That's what really, brings me to people in general, is like how fun and, easygoing they are. And just like listening to Huni's voice comes and his broken English is so cute, and it's hard to not like the guy, he he's so sweet, and like the holo holo holo, and when he's saying, I need to stop famous, I'm too famous. It's just, oh my god, I love you, dude, man. And when I saw that him and Rainover were leaving, I was so heartbroken, man. I was like, damn, is this what being a Fnatic fan is? And little did I know that this was only the beginning of the heartbreak. But yeah.
Was that, you say that's the worst Fnatic moment for you, or is there anything worse than that?
No, well, 2016 was really tough for us. I mean, yeah, it was. It's such a downfall from 2015. I mean, obviously, it's always had to replicate what happened in 2015. It was just a golden era for us. But yeah, 2016 was like the other side of the coin, saying, this is the highest point you can go, and this is the lowest point you can go. And like with the team we have this year, the beginning of the split was actually quite scary because I was like, oh my god, this is 2016 all over again. And then when we managed to come together and seeing those rookies being so successful, like regardless of what happened against Misfits, maybe our weaknesses have been exposed once again, just like in Rift Rivals. But I mean, I love this team to bits. I love Cats. Broxa, man, he is like, I'm just so amazed by this guy, by his talent, by his discretion, his respect he has, for the teams and stuff like that. But even how humble he is, but how but he's just this big tough guy. But it's just like with his very deep voicing, yeah, I mean, he's amazing. He's just so humble. It's like he's one of the best junglers, like best rookie junglers that's ever come to the LCS. And just like, it's normal and stuff like that. It's like, no, I'm not the best. It's like, dude, you're amazing. Just do not undersell yourself. You're so good. And I really hope I get to meet him because, like, he's a bit of a hero for me. Being a jungler player myself, I just really have the utmost respect for him. So yeah, I really hope I get to meet the team, and they're not too down from playing the third place match. Like even if they lose against HUK, I managed to get like a picture with Reckless, so as amazing, and Kwai when they were doing the team reveal at the bunker. And I always remember like Kwai talking to this guy, and this guy was just like holding his leg, just talking. And I was being very respectful, just staying behind the guy with my phone just to take a picture because I had to head to play six-a-side football on the other side of London. And yes, that's where I got the pic from, exactly. Reckless was just hanging out there, and I was like starstruck. I was like, is that actually Reckless? And I was like, fuck, he's actually pretty tall, Like, I'm not small myself, like I'm 6'1" or 1 meter 86, and he was taller than me. I was like, holy shit, dude. And I was kind of scared to approach him. I was like, can I take a picture or something? He's like, oh yes, totally, no problem. And yes, I'm going to the after party. Awesome. Well, hope to see you there, Lyndon. It'll be awesome. And yeah, it was just like and then we spoke about it, and he actually shared, saying the team had been leaked more or less online. He's saying he's a bit disappointed that people just undersell them and do not have faith in the team. And I was like, dude, it's just like in 2015, when Huni and Rainover came in, people were saying, Fnatic is done and stuff like that. And and I was like, dude, don't worry. Like I believe in the team. I've always been around for Fnatic, even when you left. It's like you have to understand the players, and it was just great just talking to him and him, sharing his feelings. And you see that he has, he puts a lot of concern in like his fans and what they're thinking. He really wants them to, have the right thought about him and stuff like that. So he's a great guy. And sorry, yeah. So to go back with Kwai, he was talking to this guy who's just talking for so long, and at one point he's just like almost pushing him to the side, and he actually saw me, kind of waiting to get a picture with him, and I was like, before I could even say, "Can I take a picture?" He's like, let's take a. He was just went to me, he's like, "Let's take a picture." I was like, "Oh, cool," and he was like, "Oh, by the way, the question you asked to the team, that was a very good question." I was like, "I love you, Kwai." I was just starstruck the whole way, man. Just seeing Soaz, from season 3 to now, like, oh, man. And spoke to him in French a little bit as well, so that was pretty cool. But yeah, so I've got this cool picture with Kwai, and I just love this guy, man. I just love him so much. I think he's been a great, manager when he had to come in and fill the shoes of a coach that wasn't able to do his job, and he's a great dude. He's a great dude. I'm really happy that he's head, of the League of Legends section, and he deserves it. And he's just a great guy when you see him on the videos and stuff like that. So I hope I get to meet him again. But yeah, that's to answer a very long question.
In contrast, actually, what's your favorite Fnatic moment of all time?
Right. So everyone would expect to tell me, oh, since you've seen with expect it's the back door. But actually, my favorite moment is Reckless's pentakill against Origin in the finals, because what happened is that I was in Glasgow at the time, and I was joining my friend at a sort of like gaming cafe in Glasgow, and I had missed the first game, and I just joined in for the second game, and just as I came in, this fight was happening where he gets the pentakill with Tristana, and I joined my friend and his friends, and it was so great finally sharing this moment with other people, just being with people who are passionate about esports and that are supporting Fnatic, and just the energy from people just going, "Oh my God, Reckless, let's go!" And yeah, for me, that's just a great memory I have of the moment, and I just cherish it so much. So I definitely say that one. But I mean, there's so many memories, I think, from 2015 from Worlds, like the Quadra kill from Hootie, this guy.
We have a voice break by Freak.
Exactly. But yeah, but that would definitely be my favorite moment in general.
Well, I'm going to throw you back to Loki here. Loki's going to hit you with some of the spicers, some of the more interesting ones,
Well, I was just going to ask you more about, what was your thoughts about the Misfits series, actually? So where did you think things went wrong for us? Because I remember you were angry when things went wrong for us. And I mean, and like you said, you're like, yeah, I'm selling my ticket. I'm not going to go anymore. But
well, basically, I just didn't recognize our team. It felt like either Nico de Pico was with us or we were playing Rift Rivals, but sometimes the lack of commitment or bad macro, Caps playing really disrespectfully, even though he had this period before and he's played like way better. It's like, yeah, he has great juking skills. I will not take that away from him. His mechanics are amazing, but damn, you have Flash. There's a Zac rushing towards you. Flash the fuck away. Even if you have a summoner down, just play safe. Make sure you have vision around your lane, because they are frigging. Yeah, we don't deserve Worlds. We don't deserve shit. I was so mad, because if this is the level we're going to play at, we're not deserving Worlds. This is not. This is not the level. No, not juking. I'm sorry. Is my accent putting you off, Loki? Fuck off. But in any case, yeah, it was just, it just felt this is not the Fnatic that destroyed G2 2-0 and that was able to come back from a over 4K deficit, and managed to turn it around. The focus on the Cho'Gath pick, I do not understand. Like Dylan, your picks and bans have been pretty decent all season long, and suddenly you've just lost your goddamn mind. It's like, I don't understand. I know it's a new patch, but still, Don't tell me that you've lost, the way you do picks and bans. I don't think it's stress. I mean, he was in Immortals again. Maybe it's like the Dylan curse. I don't know, but he's been at the top level. It's not like, oh my god, this is the first time I'm on the big team. So I don't know. I'm just very sad that Fnatic is not going to lift the trophy this year. I thought so much in my heart that this was it, that finally we would rekindle with victory, that we would finally get our banner 2017 summer, and it's to the point where I have to cheer for Misfits in the finals because I do not want to see G2 lifting this fucking trophy again, man. I cannot take it. I cannot take Ocelote. I cannot take friggin' Weldon Green, who, oh my god, he's so good. Well, he's on the best team every time. What do you expect? It's like, how would he fare with Rokat, Like, I would like to see him on a smaller team that actually needs a real mental coach, It's like, oh yeah, I'm getting paid by this big brand, and oh yeah, we're so successful. Like, fuck off, mate. Fuck off. But yeah, they drafted better, they played better, they totally outclassed us. I'm not saying they got lucky in any case. They deserve their spot in the finals, and I really hope that this like beautiful story they're having, it will get them the trophy. They deserve it, and be especially very happy for Hansama that I've been hyping since his introduction in LCS, saying you have to look out for this ADC. I was a bit disappointed with his beginning at Misfits. He wasn't as flashy or as impactful as I'd wish he were. But yeah, I'm very happy for him that he gets to play his final in Paris in his crowd. I'm definitely going to cheer for him. PoE is having a rebirth, definitely. And let's go Misfits, because they're a great org in the end, and they deserve their spot. And it's going to be let's go Misfits, and it's definitely going to be let's go fucking Fnatic. Get that third place. There's no impact on the gauntlet, but goddamn, if I'm going to support you today, I'm going to support you the right way. So let's fucking go Fnatic. I've got my jersey. I got a fucking fidget spinner, even though I didn't spend 50 euros. So thank you, Draco or Pixie or whoever takes care of the merch. Thank you very much. You got bamboozled by the Scot. Get good. But yeah, it's I'm just going to be supporting them in the end because I love Fnatic. So fuck it.
So Madscot, you've given us your thoughts on the finals and how you want it to go. Give us your expectations for tomorrow in the third place match against HDK. Give us your preview.
I'm just hoping that we get our drafts into the right way, and we just play some nice League of Legends like we have all split, to show that we're the number one team for a reason. Even if it's not a 3-0, at least we have to win this for lots of reasons, just to show that, well, we fucked up against Misfits, but we're getting back on track. It's the third, fourth wake-up call, as they like to call it. But yeah, we need this win going into Gauntlet, saying, right, we do not suck. We are going to Worlds. It's going to be a very long road, but we're getting there. We have great rookies. They deserve their Worlds,
Do you see us making Worlds through the Gauntlet?
I really hope so. I mean, like, as usual, I may be the biggest rager, but I always have faith in Fnatic. I might be angry. I might, be awful in chat, but fuck it, man. I want to see Fnatic. I mean, missing Worlds last year was too much for me already. I was down in the friggin' dumps, and just seeing this rebirth, right? We won't have the trophy, I've made my reason. It's behind me now. But fuck me, man, if we do not go to Worlds, I will flip my shit, dude. I will flip my fucking shit. So come on, like, Caps, get your shit together. Be respectful. Use Flash if you need to use Flash. Broxa, do not get pressured down. If you want to go for Baron, just commit to Baron. Do not try to engage on the enemy when they do not have their junglers. Just fucking go for it. Don't have like the smite gates or smite problems that you usually have, and let's be the Fnatic that we've shown all split, and let's go for it. And let's go to Worlds. Let's fucking go to China, dude. Let's go for it.
Now, moving on from League, I know that you've been watching CSGO as well lately. Sadly, we just lost to Immortals 2-0, but I wanted to know what your thoughts were about the addition of Golden and Lecro to the lineup. What do you think about this roster move from your perspective, and how do you think it'll end up for us in the end?
Well, with my little, very small knowledge of Counter-Strike, I mean, most of the stuff I've learned was going to ACS and what LK has really nicely taught me. But I mean, from what I used to see from the previous team and from what I've seen like right now, yeah, thanks, LK. You've been great. I'm actually really hopeful for this team. They actually look pretty good. The mistakes I used to see from like the old team, I feel are being, corrected and being improved. Lecro and Golden have already showed like great promise, and I'm actually quite impressed by some of the shit they pull out. Like Golden, like the 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 kills he pulls out in those clutch moments, and even Lecro, man. Actually, I didn't know much about them, but just seeing them in this team and seeing how great they're doing, and it's their first tournament together, so I'm actually quite hopeful that once they get more games and they get the synergy in, they actually go further. Like Immortals has, they haven't had any change. Like even though I've heard that some of the players are trying to leave, whatever, they're pretty good. Henny is insane on the snipe or the op or whatever, and like we lost 2-0, we almost got the first map, we crumbled, and then it was their map. So you can't be mad about that. It's a new team, there's still time, so let's go.
So we've talked in depth about your passion for Fnatic and your what you feel about the teams, but let's get into more of the Discord stuff now, because we want to know more about your time here. You're one of the original members of Discord. You're an OG basically. So how did you end up joining, and when was it that you joined?
I believe I joined when there was the League of Legends tournament. I think this what brought me here. I think so. At least that's the memory I have. When it was advertised on the Fnatic Reddit, and yeah, this is where I met RME and some other guys, and obviously like the mods and stuff like that. I don't have like that much memories from when I joined because I was rather shy and I didn't want to come in saying, "Hey, I'm Madscot, let's go." I developed my personality once, I had spent more time and just talked a bit more, and I saw, I can be a bit more of myself. So, but yeah, it's been great seeing like new members and stuff like that, getting to meet you at ECS and getting to meet more people at in Paris. So yeah, I mean it's a good community. You're good people, so I'll keep you in my mind.
So were there any of the earlier members that stuck out the most to you when you first joined? Like some of the people that you recognized the most? Who are these people that you identified with, and what were your thoughts about them?
I'd say like I don't have a lot of memories of like the people that used to be there but are not here anymore. I think like people I get along with are people who always been more or less around, whether it be you, LK, or other people like even Hockey, we get along very well because we have like the same taste in music, and anyone that participated in League of Legends tournament, I get along with, so no problem at all. I don't like have names in specific, but just people who've participated in the tournament. They know who they are, and that's who I used to talk with, or at least used to read their chat with. So yeah.
So do you, if you can remember, I know you've got like fuzzy memory when it comes to the beginning, but so you've seen the Discord in the past compared to now. So what was it like back then?
It was definitely a much smaller community. I just feel like it was us, just talking to each other. I didn't feel like we really used the other chats to talk about other games. It's like everything was mixed in general. Well, like I'm happy to the way it's developed. Like I'm not saying, oh my god, now it's too big. There are too many people. But yeah, it just felt like it was our place. Our small place to talk about Fnatic. and it's still good. We talk about stuff in League of Legends, CS:GO, and stuff like that. But yeah, I guess it's just a different environment, different feeling. Yeah, the good old days, exactly. So, but I'm totally not dismissing the situation it is right now. I'm actually quite happy that there's more Fnatic people to talk with and to share the passion. So it's all good.
Well, you have a bit of a reputation in this Discord as a meme master per se. How did that come about? And how do you feel about the title of being the meme master around here?
Well, I got the meme master like more or less because of like the photoshops and stuff I used to do. It's like I never said, "Oh, I am the meme master." Bend the knee, It's just like I usually like to make jokes in general, and it just happened that the jokes I made became memes in the end. Just like Photoshop, like my first photoshops were photoshopping Loki in Yu-Gi-Oh card because he did the rule of he did the ruling for the League of Legends tournament, and I took like the judge card from Yu-Gi-Oh and I just put his face on top of it, and I also did like another one with him like saying shit, I can't remember. Wait, just give me 2 seconds to find this picture. It's basically him because I actually have a folder with all the memes. Yeah, so I can maybe post it in the chat. Just a second.
Or something about demoting, or like a
Exactly.
run out of elo or something. It's some kind of BM.
There you go. So that was it. Because he had to remake the match and it was like kind of controversial. So, and he had just posted a picture of himself. So I was like, I think this is where the meme started, and then I just got welled. So yeah, and then I think that's how I got like the MVPs, like 2 talk shows straight in a row, because in my head I'm always trying to make a joke. It's just when I hear something that I feel is memeable or just something to joke about, my head just goes like through 100 calculations saying what's the best way to joke about it without being too dirty or without anybody understanding. So yeah, it's just I just like having people laugh and just making them laugh in general and make them have a good time in the end. So yeah, and it's just like the one with LK, I just had like so much content to meme about because he's a meme in himself. So there's quite a lot to do, and Loki as well when he's always talking about girlfriends and stuff like that. So there's always great content in general.
Now, one of your best ever was when we were in Berlin, right? And Abby, I don't know if you guys know her, but she took a picture with the G2 players, right? And one of the G2 players, should I name him?
Works at in chat already.
Well, basically, Mithy was staring at her breast, and we posted the picture in general at the time, and then Madscot goes, "Well, Mithy always did have an eye for objectives."
Oh, beautiful.
See, that's the kind of subtlety I try to bring into my jokes, because I could just say like, "Oh yeah, he loves tits," or something like that, which would, it wouldn't be funny first of all, and it'd be just too obvious. So you kind of, have to work around it, saying, what does Misty do? He's a support player. What does he do? He looks over the map and tries to focus on objectives. What are boobs? Every man's objective. So there we go.
That right there. I think that got pinned, and then
I think you pinned it because you really enjoyed it. I didn't think it was like pin worthy, but it's like, if Loki enjoys it, then I guess it's good.
Everyone in the hostel in Berlin couldn't stop laughing for like.
All right, cool.
Yeah, I was damn. It was too funny.
I know you're a big fan, Pope, so you're biased. I cannot take that.
Now, Pope, I think you had a couple more questions you wanted to ask.
I do actually, yeah. Are there any newer members that you've noticed, Sesh, want to mention? Like, is there any of them that just stick out to you, but just like, damn, that's a fine new member. I wish they were here all the time, that sort of way.
Um, I don't like new member. I mean, I guess obviously like Arya, Trapman. Who else? Like, there's been a lot of like new members who've been present quite a lot. So yeah, it's nice to have them around. Really, it's pretty cool. They they always bring like new stuff to the chat. I think it's pretty cool. And as long as like you're a new member and you participate quite a lot, I'll definitely notice you. As long as you don't say like stupid stuff and really start bothering me. But yeah. I mean, like, there's probably like other people as well that I'm not thinking of. It's just because they're in the chat right now, but I definitely notice them. On the other side, like, I've not been really active those past days/weeks because I was away in holiday. I was actually having a life. I know. I'm sorry about that. So that's why you haven't maybe seen me. I know exactly. But yeah, I was just getting tanned in Spain and in the south of France afterwards. So
Did you see the members of G2 while you were over?
no, I did. I have a G2 repellent on me at any time.
What did you ever think that Discord would be as big as it is now?
I kind of guessed it because I know the Fnatic fan base is humongous, and I thought that if it was advertised correctly, that eventually we'd have a lot of people coming in. We've had like those, waterfalls of members coming in when it was being advertised on the Twitter and then it was game time. And yeah, humongous. And when there's like Counter-Strike games or League of Legends games and they would promote it on the Twitter, you just have like a flock of fans coming in, but they wouldn't stay afterwards. So the few that stayed here, I mean, props to you for staying around and not just coming when there's games. But yeah, I mean, I think like it's huge in terms of like members who are subscribed to the server. It's maybe not as big in terms of actual active like regular people, but there's still a good amount of people, and I think it's pretty cool that get to meet and know new people and just talk to them on a daily basis.
Now, the funny thing is that actually, the both of us have had several chances to meet each other in the past, but have never realized it. So at London in 2015, we were at the same stadium. We were at the bunker twice at the same time. And then finally, we ended up meeting at ECS. So what was it like when you ended up meeting me and LK? Like, what was it like meeting us in person? What were your impressions of us, and what are your expectations going to be like for Bloom and Stan, especially that you're meeting tomorrow?
And how much do you wish I was there?
Mate, I miss you so much, even though I've never met you. I love you, man.
I love you too, pal.
I just cherish the day we're finally going to share a beer together.
You got that right.
And we talk about lifting baggins and shit like that.
It's going to be great.
But in any case, first time I met Loki. What should I say? Disappointment? No, I'm kidding, dude. It's actually quite funny because I had seen pictures of Loki before, and like I arrived at ECS and I was like, "There's a guy over there that looks like the picture. I'll go to him." And I was like, "Loki?" I was like, "Yeah." Like, I'm Madscot. I was like, "Oh, cool." I was like, "This is LK," and there's other people I can't remember who they were, but good people. And Loki's friend, who was real cool, who also works in esports, and so we kind of got together. So it's really great to finally meet them, to see the person behind the computer, and very nice people. Loki, very nice. LK, very nice. We should get a beer next time. Well, not for Loki, he can have a Coke or whatever, but or an Iron Brew, of course. But yeah, definitely can't wait to meet them again. Very sad that Loki can't make it for LCS. I was really expecting, both of us to just get it down in Paris and just tear the friggin' arena together. But it's whatever. I know we'll get to meet again with LK and other people, and hopefully, Pope, you can be part of the adventure as well.
Of course I will.
Oh, and sorry for the second part of your question. I'm really, really excited to meet Stan to see if he's the man that we've described in the Discord. That just very lightheaded and just does things the way he wants to do them. I just can't wait to have to find him throughout the arena and saying, "Fuck, where did he go again?" And just being tons of troubles because just Stan. But it's also, yeah, I know. I'll try to get him out of the fields if I can. But in any case, it's definitely going to be cool to meet other people from the Discord, also the French people and stuff like that, to finally meet them. And I saw that someone from the Fnatic Reddit, Scotsman as well, is planning to come, and I said, he can meet us if he wants. So that's pretty cool. Someone from the country, from the land, coming to meet up. But in any case, it's going to be cool. Even if it's for a third place match, it's going to be a great time. And on Sunday night at the party, it's going to be litty, man. Paris is my country.
Then you mean France is your city?
Both.
Now, I think Pope had a question for you, didn't you? Weren't you saying to me, Pope?
I had a question, but it's kind of escaping me. But I'm gonna ask you this: what keeps you here? What really keeps you in this Discord? Like, people leave, people go, people stay, people don't stay. What keeps you here? Is it us? Is it the memes? Is it the fact you're a dedicated fan? Or is it LK?
It's a bit of everything. It's first of all me being a huge Fnatic fan. I like to keep up to date on the results and everything. It's the community. There's a lot of people I get along with very well, and it's a great joy to speak to them every day and just laugh and talk shit about everything. And also just share moments when there's a game and just able for me to just put my frustration down in the chat and everyone just hating on me for it and me triggering everyone because I'm just speaking badly of Fnatic. But in any case, it's just a mix of all of this really, of just being a huge Fnatic fan and being a fan of the people who make part of the Discord, who make the Discord what it is today, and just keep staying in contact with all you guys and just making memes. That's it. In the end of the day, it's just making memes. That's what I live for.
Well,
So I had a question for you quickly. This is going to be completely off topic, but since we did this for the most controversial man in the Discord, Alterov, he called you the second most controversial man in this Discord. So now I'm giving you the opportunity to roast me and Pope and anyone that wants to be roasted in the chat. So I want you to free your Scottish side right now. Let the anger consume you, okay? Just go back to last weekend when we lost to Misfits. Get into that mood and roast us.
Oh man! After I've just spilled all my love for the Discord, I have to put you down. Damn.
Well, now, you've given us your French side, so now it's your
my French side, right?
you can be your angel or your demon,
Right. Yeah. God damn. I don't want to be mean, dude.
Well, think of us as your ex-girlfriend, right? Who scared you and then
God.
pushed her against the wall. So
she scared me to split up with her. I don't want to be with you anymore. I'm actually quite surprised that you haven't asked about my ex-girlfriend, but I guess you're not interested in ex-girlfriends, so
that's fair,
debated.
That's coming later.
All right, fair enough. Right. Fuck me, man. I don't know what it is. So yeah, Loki. Like I said, you thought I was joking about you being a disappointment at ECS, but really, you're just a small young dude, and you're so boring. Actually, you think you're the best mod because you're number one ranking in the chat, but it's just because you're spamming shit. You're actually so useless, and I don't even understand how they got you as a mod in the first place. I thought that I'd see an interest in you when we'd finally meet, and I'm actually happy that we're not meeting at LCS because I'd actually get so triggered even more than Fnatic being third. So you just stay in London, mate, and I'll stay in Paris, and we'll be fine.
Wait, Madscot, how did you get into my head? What the fuck? Will you read my mind? Hello?
For Pope, it's very easy. I'll just say one thing. You cannot lift wagons.
That's disgraceful. That's a challenge to a man's honor! Honor, sir!
For LK, I mean, this guy wants to look like a fucking rock star. Just looks like a shite brush, actually, that I use for my toilet to try to grab Lily's phone back. So, I mean, this guy.
I'd still fuck you up, fam. Don't even start.
Oh, what the hell? Someone
Oh,
mute this
shit.
guy. This man has gone over his rights. This is my talk show, mate. You've had your time. You better sit down, dude. Okay? I will 1v1 you in real life. Come at me, bro. I will shiv you, man.
We've had an invasion, okay? I've dealt with it. I've quarantined him back to
Thank
his
you.
corner. I took my roasting like a man. I mean, I don't. The thing is, though, like, I see you saying all these things, but the funny thing is that, like, when I saw you in person, you don't match how you talk at all. You're like this. I don't know, goofy kind of character. You know, like you're just this kind of bear-like person that you just want to hug. So I just can't take it seriously at all. But go ahead, man.
Nah, that's the problem is that, you know, in the Discord you don't like see me, you just see the very passionate side of me, the Fnatic fan who just wants to see his team be successful. But in real life I'm just like happy-go-lucky guy who, you know, just enjoys being around, and you know, if I'm surrounded by nice people, then it's a good day for me, and that's it. So that's why, like, being mean is just even very hard for me in general. It's like I just have to find like specific traits. I cannot say you're a bunch of bastards, I actually hate you. I'm just here to flame you guys on a general basis. I cannot stand any of you. I actually hate Fnatic, and I'm just putting out all this bullshit being a fan just to freely flame Fnatic so I don't get banned from the chat because the mods are so weak they can't do shit to me. Even Uno, I've bamboozled him to hell to actually think I'm a good guy, to help him translate Life of Legends in French, but I actually don't care, and I'm just trying to target his roommate who's hot as fuck, and I'm trying to get her number, but you know, that's all. I would never say that. You know, that's not me. That is not me.
Madscot, you've got more people to roast. Don't stop now. Keep going.
Who wants? Oh man, right. Who's next?
Ryan's next.
Ryan, you know what? I don't even know who you are, so there's nothing for me to say. You know.
Ollie next one.
Ollie, did you tried to contain me in the Discord? I will smack you in real life, wee kid. You're still sucking your thumb in your mom's basement, so fuck off.
I think Lily volunteered as your.
Oh, Lily. I mean, I'm usually very bad to Lily on a daily basis, so I don't know why this would be a different day, to be honest. I mean, she just tosses the phone into her toilet so her sugar daddy LK can buy her a new one, because that's how she got mod in the first place. It's not because Stan enjoyed her laugh. It's because she's already more or less in. She just has LK who's, you know, saying, oh, by the way, Lily, she's not too bad. Oh, wait a second, she's kind of busy with me right now. So, you know, we both know how things work out in this Discord.
And one last one, let's get an official roast. Lyndon asked for a bit of a roast.
Oh, Lyndon. Oh, man. I mean, what can I say about this guy? He just comes from time to time saying, oh, be nice to the Fnatic team. Fuck off, man. If I want to roast everyone, I'll roast. You know, I don't care about your photoshopping skills, dude. I will find you at the party and I will face you, man. And I will say, dude, if I want to flame Fnatic, I will flame Fnatic. You shall not control me, man. Okay? With your fucking blonde face. Fuck off. Go get a real haircut, dude.
Christ, I don't know what we've just done there.
Well, we actually have one roast. A lot of us may have been willing to hear all this time. There's one roast that you and your beginner have been getting hot for. The moment you've been waiting for. Tell us your thoughts about Nip. And more importantly, Nico Wafiko. Now, you stay within the PG and within the rules, but you know what I mean? No death threats, keep it clean, you know, straight roast. Go for it, fam.
You know what? Actually, I'll just say one thing about Nip. Relegation. I called it since they made the team. I said this team is going into relegation. Even Loki's saying, shut up, Madscot. They will not go into relegation. It's a long-term plan. Yeah, long-term to the fucking dumpster, mate. Good luck at McDonald's. Fucking NIP, man. Disgusting organization. You can talk about everything about Cubs and the hold up they're doing to just having everyone in. But I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. Nico De Pico was with Fnatic when they made the academy team, and he helped the academy team exist. He brought in Broxa, he brought in Niski, and he even brought in like Soaz. I mean, he's like a big part of this team. And not wanting to take a team you're pretty comfortable with to bring two fucking Koreans who don't even talk a sliver of English at the start, and you're like, oh, don't worry. Well, everyone is focusing for World. We're focusing on our synergy, and the only guy who's doing approximately good is Profit because he's from SKT, and he's just doing like the split push and playing carry champs like Jace and just wrecking everyone. On the other side, you have Nagni, who is known to relegate teams. You have Sprato, who is known to relegate team. You have Hiku, who's 50-50, who sometimes is like an amazing ADC and sometimes he's utter shit. And then you have Shrook, who hadn't played for a whole year in LCS, and you're bringing him back. Fuck right off, mate. What are you doing? And then you have Nico De Pico saying on social media, oh, by the way, I invented Reckless and Kennen. What? Where were you in 2015 when we fucking wrecked IG with Reckless and Kennen? You were not there. Stop, taking pride for stuff you weren't involved in. You are nothing with Fnatic. Fnatic, you've almost put Fnatic back to where they were in 2016. You've almost fucked us from playoffs. Without a manager, we've done better with Nico De Pico. Dude, I'll give you Origin. It was an awful organization. I'll give you coming to Fnatic at the end of 2016 because it was a difficult situation. I will not give you 2017 spring split when you've made most of the team because you wanted to make sure you had control over the team and you had a good synergy with them. I will not give you NIP because you picked everyone where you put Fnatic Academy down to make your own team because you kind of wanted to give yourself a choice, and you've brought them from LCS 500k for a challenger spot. How about you fuck off, man? How does this? If I had the same performances as this guy in my job, I'd be fired years ago, and I'd never get a job afterwards. I'd be working in the fucking streets, putting the bin in the truck, and he still gets a chance in the biggest orgs. How the fuck did that happen, man? How the fuck did that happen? So yeah, I have a problem with him having to split Fnatic Academy. I have a problem with NIP making very bad business decisions to the point where they don't know who to hire. They're hiring like the worst of the worst and hoping to stay in the fucking LCS. Buy a fucking challenger spot. Do not come to LCS, mate. Do not waste your money. Do not waste your money. Do not waste our time. Thank you very much.
So you're telling me he didn't use your esports, Nick didn't use your esports hiring system
Exactly,
to
mate. Exactly.
get himself.
Road, But anyway. Oh, Empress. Oh, man. You've just missed the best, man. You've just missed the best.
Yep, unfortunately, you just nipped it fucking decimated.
Well, that's the end of the roasting, though. Too bad. Too bad Empress just missed it all. But
You can watch the VOD on fnatic.discord or whatever the link is.
yeah, we do have a YouTube channel. So whenever my boss Yannico gets back from holiday, he's on holiday permanently right now. He will upload the rest of the episodes that are missing, including Empress's episode. But now let's move into the Q&A session, the AMA part of the talk show near the end. So as is tradition, I always get the best question in just to kick things off. You know that. I always come prepared. So here's my question for you. Since you love WWE, right? I want you to now imagine that this Discord has now gone full wrestling, okay? Now currently, to start things off, Pixie and Robert are the tag team champions of the Discord, yeah? Who would your tag team partner be to beat them? And why don't you think about some other tag teams that might work? Like, why don't you pair some people up, and what would their gimmicks be?
Right, so quite obvious. I'd have to be with the only one and only, the LKO, the chairman, the man who gets impact with steel, the one and only Legend Killer. We would just wreck it down. London Glasgow connection, and we would just smash everyone. The raging Madscot with the crazy unhinged legend killer, the rock singer. Other tag teams would consist of course, Loki and Pope. Pope would just be this wagon lifting hero, and Loki would just be in love constantly and just being hyping up Pope, almost like a manager. Who else? Damn. Oh yeah, of course, Arya and Alexia would be the first female tag team, but it'd just be like Alexia saying she's constantly hungry and tired, and Arya would just like talk about any subject, and they would just distract their opponents because they would just be talking with each other, and people would be like, we have to fight, and when they'd get distracted, they just come from behind, roll up pin, 1, 2, 3, and that's how they win. Let me see.
The thing is, you've actually taken LK away from his partner, who's Lily, so that leaves her open.
Well, Lily, okay, we can do like a Team Extreme thing. Like Lily can be the girl of the band.
Well, I mean, I was thinking that I could just, borrow her for a second.
You've done that before, I've heard.
A few times, yeah.
But yeah, I was gonna say Uno and his roommate, just like the couple that couldn't be, so they just fight side by side. It'd be called the Friendzone tag team. Feels bad, man. A final one, I don't know. It would be Stan with Ultarov, the most toxic tag team of all time. they would just insult their opponents, and their opponents would just have to like block their ears because it'd be just so much profanity. Therefore, they could not defend themselves, and like Ultarov would just be like, just talking, and Stan, would somewhat manage to get a pin, even though he'd just be like walking around the ring, and somehow just bump into the opponent, and they'd get like knocked out, and he'd fall on them, and it'd go 1, 2, 3, and it was like, what happened? Oh, I was in a wrestling match. Oh, I guess I just won then.
I mean, we've all seen the gif of Stan get slapped and kicked. That man can take a slap and a kick. Hurricane can take a punch,
Exactly. So that would be like my tag team department.
Well, I was thinking about some other teams. So obviously, Empress doesn't have a team right now. So who would be his partner?
I'd pair him with Kwai. Kwai has been part of the Discord, so I'm saying that counts. The little manager with the big manager, and like he wants to be as good as Kwai, and Kwai like takes care of like most of the match, and then Impress comes in, for the hot tag, and he just proves himself like, yeah, I'm as good as a manager as Kwai is, and he just like does this amazing like forearm smash, just like smash, and then when he's about to get caught, like Kwai comes in even though there's no tag, and he just like brings the opponent out, and Impress gets up the top turnbuckle, and he does the bow tie slam, and 1, 2, 3.
Now, Lydon and Kamie are seen everywhere together. So do you think they would be a natural pair?
They could be like Uno and his roommate, but there wouldn't be any friends on here. It'd be like true love, just like Maria and her boyfriend in WWE right now. And they'd have like that same awesome intro, like "We are the greatest." It's an amazing song. You should have to check it out. But yeah, it's pretty cool. And they'd be like this, and Camille can be like, the one who distracts, who's actually a quite lovable person, but in fact she's just a real bitch, and she like slaps the male opponent who doesn't want to hit girls. And then Lyndon will just come from behind and friggin' suplex the guys, and they call it like the Fnatic suplex or something like that. And I know, like it can be like a Phil Nelson, because like when you're a Phil Nelson, you're kind of in the shape of the Fnatic logo, with legs spread out and arms spread out like this. So you just kind of suplex them like that, and like a Phil Nelson suplex, and just hold the position, with the bridge like that. Because I know that Lyndon's quite athletic. I've seen the pictures. So good.
Now I'm gonna turn this question into something that you haven't expected now. We've already done tag teams, but now you have to get through the raid boss now. We're going to 1v1 competitions. Uno is the world champion of the Discord, okay? Who are the biggest contenders that you have to get through to beat him?
Biggest contenders. Damn. Oh, I'd say Pope. He lifts wagons, obviously, so he would have like both like single run and tag team run, but he'd be like one of the like top 5 because I'd be torn. It's like, Pope, we cannot fight, and he's like, you have to fight me to get to the top highest level. And it's like, dude, you will not be able to lift wagons at the end of this, and it'd be like a Celtic clash,
Yeah.
the Scotsman versus the Irishman. It'd be like main event pay-per-view. And then like who else? Well, LK, of course, because he'd be the sneaky bastard, the LKO. Always, coming from behind with a steel chair, always cheating his way to the top, just like he did to become Mud. And just who else? There would be who else would be there? There would be Impress, and he'd have like tons of very colorful costumes to go with his bow ties. He'd be like the Gold Dust of the Gauntlet, and then there'd be who else would there be? There either be like Loki or Stan. It's like they'd both be like considered as one person, but they would just be like one time it's Loki's turn, and the other time it'd be Stan's turn, and you'd get confused because Stan, you never know if he's really serious about fighting, and on the other side you'd be Loki, who'd be like the real fighter, like trying to prove himself. So it'd be like kind of 50-50. You'd never know who you'd be against, so you'd never know how to prepare against them.
What do you think about Hawkeye as a contender?
Hawkeye would be like me and Pope. We are like brothers fighting each other because we just get along so well, and we would be basically have like this fight on that awesome like rock track in the background, and it'd be like, I'm the biggest Biffy Clyro fan. It's like, no, it's me. I'm the biggest Biffy Clyro fan, and we'd fight over that title basically.
Now, on the final subject of this, right? This is the list that I mentioned earlier that me and LK came up with. I want you to think if it's accurate or not, or maybe see what you think could be improved.
Right, I see. LK's Orton, yeah, it's kind of obvious. Why would you be Punk?
Well, because I'm actually straight edge in real life.
All right, fair enough, right. Ryan, Sabu, why? Because he just
they're both
brings his
Middle
body.
Eastern.
What was that? Sorry.
They're both Middle Eastern, and they're both
All right, fair enough.
batshit crazy.
Uno, Vince, right? Of course. Hockey, Otunga. Oh man, that kind of sucks. Why Otunga?
Because he's a lawyer.
Oh, right. Yeah, right. That makes sense. Me, Roddy Piper is like, talked about it. Yannico, Undertaker. Why is it? Because he's fucking tall.
He's not tall at all. He's a shorty.
All right.
He's a midget.
Is it? Why? See, why would Snuffle not be Undertaker? Because it's all about digging in dirt and stuff like that.
That's actually a good point. That is actually a point.
Stan could be Andre the Giant. Cesaro's more of a Swiss person.
No, but you saw the gif of Stan, right? Like he just got his ass kicked.
Hey, Cesaro's pretty good. He doesn't. I mean, whatever. Guardian is Cena. Why? Because we never see him.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. We don't see him anymore, and he was the original face of the Discord.
Pixie, Stephanie, right? Jacob, Shawn Michaels. Well, like I said, he could be the Undertaker. Walshy, Daniel Bryan. Why is that? Is it because he's injured?
I can't actually remember why we picked him as Daniel Bryan. Okay, can you remind me? Why did we pick? Oh, because he retired his mod and we still love him.
Oh, right. Yes. Well, Sylvan Mysterio, why is he Mexican or Spanish?
He's Portuguese.
So that's why he's Mysterio. That makes no sense at all.
I mean, we're not. I'm not saying the list is perfect. I mean,
I guess Sami Zayn is it because he's from Syria or something. Well, Middle East as well.
yeah. See, look, Sylvan is short as well. So I mean, the Mysterio
Fair
comparison
enough.
worked.
Lila is Alexa Bliss. I could see the. I mean, I would have given her Paige to be honest, because they both wear black and they're both friggin' emo chicks. So, but I mean, Alexa Bliss kind of works in like the current roster. And Ultra Rough is the Miz because he has a big mouth. I'm guessing. Yeah, sure. I'll give it to him.
Now, I need you to help me complete this list with LK. So LK will help to edit this list as we go through it. So, who would you say Empress would be?
Empress, from like the ones you've suggested, or in general?
Just in general. I mean, those
think
names are just as a suggestion.
Empress would be shit. What's his name? The the Mac Militant. What's his name? Who'd say you're going 1-on-1 against the Undertaker?
Teddy Long, or was it Paul Bearer? Was it Paul Bearer?
Pretty long.
The guy that died of a heart attack. I have no idea. Who are you thinking of?
Me? No,
Yeah,
I said Teddy Long. Yeah, Empress can say because he also likes to throw a party and like Teddy Long's always groovy and stuff like that. So I can see him coming to Mac Militant. Hola, hola, players! You are going 1-on-1 against H2K. Stuff like that. He'd be a great announcer.
But Empress is nothing like Teddy Long. What the hell? What is this?
I think because he's a manager and he wears bow ties.
Oh,
And Teddy Long was a manager at some point, and he wears bow ties as well, and could be an announcer.
okay, fine. I'll let you have that one. Okay.
It's me who's deciding. You have nothing to say about this. Do you want to get roasted again? You know your role. If you smell, no.
I mean, okay. What do you think?
Give me other people. Give me other people.
Okay, what do you think about Arya then?
Arya, she can be.
It doesn't matter what you think.
Oh God. Arya, she can be Bailey because she's always very cheerful and stuff like that. Or either Bailey. No, like she can be Sasha Banks, and Alexa can be Bailey because Alexa is always the very cheerful, positive person.
What about the Trap Man? I know he's waiting for his moment.
Oh, Trap Man. Let me see. He can be. Let me see. He can be. No way, Jose. No way, Jose. I feel like he's a very happy, groovy person, so I'll give it to him.
What about Fandango?
Who's Fandango?
That dancing dude.
Who's the queerest person in the chat?
Guardian Jr.
Guardian. I don't know. Fandango. Who likes to dance here? I don't know.
Give it to Lidden.
Linden? I was actually maybe going to give it to Linden. Sure. You can be Fandango. Fandango's having a great run, by the way, so it's a good character. You know what, Lyndon? Let's dance together at the party, and you can show me your fan. No, okay, you're not queer, fine, but you can show me your dance moves.
What do you think about Harry, Guardian Jr.?
Damn. Harry. Harry. Damn. Hmm. Well, they call Shinsuke the artist, so he can be the artist since he makes all the memes.
That's
Yep,
fair.
yep. Not the memes, sorry, the emotes. What memes, emotes? Pretty much the same, isn't it? What are emotes if not memes? You can study that. You have 3 hours. You can are emotes memes an essay on Fnatic Discord.
Okay, now this is my last question before we get into everyone else's. Tell us more about your ex-girlfriend.
Oh God, are we ready for some Bible thumbs and feels bad, man?
Before we do that, was Loki around? Is that the main problem here?
I mean, right. So, first time I was with my girlfriend. Uh, damn, was that 2012, 2011? Yeah, there's the first time Arya, because then there was a second time and a third time and a fourth time. I was studying in prep school, in Amiens, which is in more or less north of France. This is where we met. First girlfriend ever. Pretty happy. It went really well, and then we didn't manage to get the business schools we were aiming for. So no, Loki, you did not. Unless you have jungle fever, I don't think you stole her 4 times. In any case, yeah. So in prep school in France, basically, you study for 2 years to get into business schools. And well, I didn't get the business schools because I'm a lazy fuck, but she didn't get them even though she worked really hard. It's a real contrast between both of us. So then we went to Lille, that's really in the north of France, to study in a third-year bachelor's degree that would also train us to get into business school. However, I was not able to stay because I didn't get all my credits to stay in that program. So the problem was we were living together at the time to kind of cut on rent cost. So I couldn't say, oh, by the way, I'm leaving you to go back to my parents' house because there's nothing that holds me here. So instead, that's where I worked in a fast food chain. However, it kind of got a bit harder because, well, she was having money problems, so she couldn't always pay the rent, and I most of the time had to pay rent for her. And as sometimes, I'd get back home very tired, and I wasn't, always necessarily in the best of moods. So I was like saying, I'm fine like paying the rent, but at one point you kind of have to take care of yourself. I know that your parents don't have a lot of money, that you don't have a job or anything, but I cannot, always ask for my parents to send money to help me for your side of the rent. So she thought, I was just being mean to her, and there was this like huge misunderstanding. And basically, when she managed to get the business school she wanted to, I went back to university to get a diploma and also get the basic, well, to study for the business school exams. So yeah, yeah. But and at this point, like there was distance and there was this bad experience when we were living together. So she said, "I'd rather we break because I'm living something totally different and you're far away." And I mean, actually, I didn't have like a really good time when we were living together, and that was really hard for me personally because I've always struggled not only to get a girlfriend, but there I was like, damn, I'm gonna die alone now. And so I had a very tough time in university. And then like what I did is that I did once we like kind of sort of getting back together, I did the surprise visit to her flat where she used to study. And I set it up with her friend and stuff like that. So she was surprised, but like we were back together, but it's kind of weird because we were still like far from each other. And basically what happened, it was like we got together, then we split up, then we got back together, then we split up. And I was very stupid because every time she broke up with me, I was always trying to get back with her. And I was never like, just let it go, try to focus on someone else or just yourself. And it's not bad not having a girlfriend. It's not a problem. And I wasn't, for me, I was not in that mindset. It was always like, damn, if I'm not with her, I'll be with no one else, because no one's interested in me in any case. So there's no way for me, if I don't have her, there's no one else for me. And yeah, so like last time we were together, it was like great. It was like just when we met the first time, it was amazing. And then it just got worse and worse to the point where like she didn't send a message saying we're breaking up. She just didn't talk to me anymore because basically what happened is that we had the same business goal. We were aiming for the same business goal. I managed to get there, but after her, so we weren't in the same year. She was on the final year. I was on my first year, and she used to do what we called alternate studying, which is you study a week in the school and you work 2 weeks in whatever business you work in. And not study alternative facts, Rob. And since she didn't have a place in the city we used to study, I said, well, you can stay at my place, wink wink, and we can try to get back together and get it down. And it started great, as we used to do. And she'd always come to my place and saying, I'm arriving at that time, and I would always come and get her at the train station and stuff like that. And then it was just like, we'd hardly talk to each other, and then it was like she didn't even send me a message saying she was coming or she was staying at my place. So I was saying, I'm guessing that you not contacting me is, us breaking up then. That's how I'm taking it. So, it wasn't like an official breakup, but that's how I understood it. And there was the part of me saying, Michael, that's the last straw. Stop being a stupid idiot and, just leave her. It's definitely not made to happen between both of you. So go to next year. I was doing an internship in Paris, and I was supposed to meet up with friends because we were going to have a very nice weekend in the countryside with a friend of ours that used to live there. And we were supposed to meet at this bar. And as I tried to find them, I lock eyes with none other than my ex-girlfriend, and I'm like, fuck me, man. Of course she's here. I'm supposed to meet with my friends, and the only person I see when I enter the bar is her. So I'm like, I see her, and I immediately turn around trying to find my friends. And once I get to them, my phone is, buzzing, and I see, oh, you have a message. Ex-girlfriend, hey, how are you doing? Can I come say hi, or is it kind of, difficult? And I was like, well, do you want to come and say hi, or do you want to have like a discussion, about what happened? And she's like, well, yeah, I'd like to have a discussion. I was like, right, meet me like outside and we'll talk. And we started talking, saying, how are you feeling, stuff like that. And she was like, I just wanted to say I'm very sorry about what happened, not giving any information and just kind of, taking advantage of, staying at your place and not paying for anything, like not even food. And did she have a ladder on her? Why? I'm not getting that joke. I'm sorry. To break in. Where? Oh, right. No. That's just for Pope stories, man. I'm not. I broke her back when she tried to scare me, so she knows the drill. And so so we talked, and I actually felt she was sincere, about being sorry, because her lips were actually shaking while she was saying it. So I was like, oh, so you're actually, remorseful about this. You're not just, taking advantage and just saying sorry because you have to say sorry. So then it's just like, kind of, making it official that we're not together, but we're staying like friends, or at least in contact. And ever since, it's been a solitary road for your one and only Madscot. So yeah, that's my story of my ex-girlfriend. I told you it was going to be yeah.
There's a figgies, that's a figgies ball.
It still feels bad, man. Yeah.
Oh, that was an intense one. Either for sure.
I'm sorry if it got a bit too real.
Well, whenever you're ready, sir, would you take some questions from the audience?
Just dry the tears away first, and then we can get on with it.
We've got some questions pinned for you. They may
Yeah.
cheer you up.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. I actually asks, why don't you rage like Stan? Since you're part French.
Because my brand of toxicity is different from Stan's. Stan's toxicity is 100% made in France. Mine is a bit of a mix between Scotland and France. So, and it's just my own brand. You know, it's my own mix. Stan is just like, you know, the real made in France quality toxicity brewed within the lands of the French countryside within his castle. So you just can't compete. It's like, you know, premium. It's like when buying whiskey in Scotland. Oh, this is French toxicity. This is the best you can get.
Do you like Iron Do you have a French? Sorry, like Iron Brew?
In terms of sodas?
Yeah.
What do we have? Do we have any French sodas, Stan? I can't really. We must have, but I mean sodas, fizzy drinks, like Coca-Cola, but French. There's Bride's Cola, which is like the French, yeah, the Bretagne, you know, like the British coast of France, you know, the Bretagne's coast. But yeah, it's on the west coast of France. It's the one that's close to the UK, basically. No, it's not Great Britain, but it's, if you translate it, it's Britain, you know. Like we call Bretagne. Grande Bretagne is Great Britain, and Bretagne is Britain. Brittany, I think you call it. But yeah, I don't think there's necessarily. Oh, I think Orangina is French. But yeah, I'm more of an iron brew in any sense, in any case. Sorry. So yeah.
Seeing as Avon is a village in France, and your dad is Scottish, does your dad sell Avon? This is from Ollie, by the way.
No, he does not. My dad does not have a job. It feels bad, man. He's
Well,
been a bit victim of the British economy, where a lot of companies he's worked for have delocalized, and many times they've asked him to follow him. One day it was like they were moving to Italy, and he actually used to work for Iron Brew once. He's an engineer, and he used to check like the caps, you know, the bottle caps,
yeah.
they were made, and making sure they were up to regulation. And I don't know if it's that one or another one, but they're saying, you know, you're a good worker, you should come to Italy with us. And it's like, you know, my family's already in France, and it's hard for them to come to Scotland. I'm not going to move to Italy. I do not know anything about Italy, and they're not going to move to Italy. It's even further than for Scotland. So yeah.
We have another question from Molly, actually. You said you're okay, right? I cannot pronounce this word because there's an L in it. So Celtic or Rangers?
Oh, definitely Celtic. Rangers are not Scottish. Fuck Rangers.
Good man. That's what I like to hear. Harry has a question for you, and he describes this as an important question. You know, a life-changing one. Lemons or limes?
Can you say that again?
Lemon or lime? Like
Lemons or limes?
Damn. You know, I usually understand Irish, but that one you got me, man.
no, it's because I can't pronounce L's. Like,
All right, fair enough. I actually like both. Limes are really nice though. I'll go for limes, yeah, definitely.
That's an unpopular answer.
I'm unpopular, so it goes with the personality, doesn't it?
If you could fight Nigel Farage or Theresa May, who would it be? If it's Theresa, it'll be in a field of wheat because that's Arturian. That's from Holly as well.
I'll fight Theresa May, whatever, whenever. I hate that her stupid face and what she plans to do for Scotland. Just scares me for my dad and my family in general. It's just, I'm actually quite concerned for what's going to happen for the UK. So yeah, fuck her and fuck her agenda and the fact that she has to sign agreements with horrible Northern Irish parties to just get into power. So
well, don't
she
call
can fuck
marriage.
off.
She'll be offended. Those parties will get offended.
I know, but they can get offended. That's what I do.
Ollie, another question for our boy Ollie. To quote a question on Twitter. Oh my god. English. To quote a question on Tinder. What's your anthem?
My anthem,
Yeah.
as in like song anthem. Or...
Yeah.
Oh, it's gonna be a Red Hot Chili Peppers song. But which one? I'd say Fortune Faded, which is I really like, obviously the famous ones, but Fortune Faded B-side of By the Way is such an amazing song.
I've never heard it myself, honestly.
It's really cool. The song part's really cool, and even the singing. Like, let me see if I can get a lyric. It's like, they say in chess you have to kill the queen, and then you made it. All right. Do you? The funny thing, the king's wit is the one who gets himself assassinated. Hey now, every time I lose, I tend to. It's a really cool song.
That sounds pretty good, and that's pretty sick voice, dude.
I used to be part of a choir when I was younger, and I used to play the guitar. So.
Oh wait, the part of the choir. I thought you meant play. I thought you meant play a guitar in the choir. I was like, what?
I was just rocking it, man. I was like, yeah. No, but yeah. Well, I also studied music as well. So, but that was like a long time ago, and yeah, it was when I was talented. Now I'm just bad.
We have a question from Harry. Would you rather fight 100 duck-sized horses or one horse-sized duck?
One horse-sized duck. He's probably my size, so I just quack him.
I'm gonna move past that joke. And what is there any particular reason why you would have, one duck-sized horse?
I mean, as long as you focus for the weak points of the duck, it's done. Whereas when it's 100 different people, it's like in Matrix, Neo having to fight Agent Smith. It's just like you can't focus on. You're just pushing them back until they come back. Whereas there's mano a mano, eye to eye, and you just put them down.
Johnny asked who will win LCS Pick'ems, you or him?
It's definitely me. I'm sorry for you, Johnny, but I've just taken such a huge lead after the semi-finals that I have won this because I'm such a genius. I used to have for the first 2 weeks, I used to have perfect picks, and I'm an analyst by heart. Even though I got bamboozled by NIP or Rocat a few times, it is what it is. I'm still number one, numero uno, le numéro un, and you cannot beat that.
You're Taiwan is what you're telling me. Taiwan number one,
Pretty much.
Ollie asked pineapples on pizza, yay or nay? Yeah, yeet or nada. I don't know how to pronounce the words.
It's easy. If you put pineapple on pizza, you're not better than Hitler. That's all.
X-Pendulum asked, do you watch Arsenal Fan TV?
I watch the occasional video because it's actually a lot of banter, and I kind of see myself in those fans, passionate people who have to follow a team through their ups and downs, and I kind of share a part of me with them. So, but I think it's just very funny in general. I don't religiously watch all their videos but when it gets posted on the Discord or just when I see it in my feed, I just watch it occasionally, and I always have a good laugh.
Kate asked, what's the best meme you've ever done or seen?
The best meme I've ever done, I'd say the one I'm most proud of is the one I made about Ultarov, about him being the last roast bender, and I put his face on the avatar,
Oh,
and he
yeah.
had like the flames coming out of his hand. I'm actually quite happy with that one.
That was pretty. That
Because
was
what you have to understand is that, like, even though I use Photoshop quite a lot, I only know like the really the basics of Photoshop. I actually strive to know, like, to learn more how to improve with the tool, but I just know how to put different images on top of each other and how to remove certain parts. And I thought that one was done pretty well. There's nothing like that looked odd or whatsoever. So yeah, definitely say that one. In terms of like memes I've seen in general, what's my favorite one? I don't know. I guess it's like from time to time there's one that I feel like is very funny, but I don't necessarily have like one specific one. Damn, which one was? Whatever. I can't remember, to be honest, but yeah, there's just memes in general. They just make my day.
I shall take over questions here while Pope finds the um, image for what was his name? Drayden.
okay.
The altar of avatar picture, the meme. So Ari wants to know, would you rather fight? Oh wait, no, that was Sylvan. Would you rather fight Loki or Pope?
I don't know, man. I think, I'd say Loki would be too easy because I'm taller than him and I'm a bit, fatter than him, so I just like smash him. But on the other side, it would be a real challenge to face Pope, the lifter of wagons. So it would either be going the easy path or going the pride path. So it's a hard choice, to be honest.
Oli wants to know what was the better tag team duo, the Hardy Brothers or D-Generation X?
Oh, definitely. I mean, I'm fully biased, so it's going to be the Hardy Boys. Even though I loved when the Generation X was around, they're definitely my style of humor. But I mean, the Hardy Boys is too much of my generation, and I'm such a Matt Hardy fan that it's hard for me to actually, not say Hardy Boys. So Team Extreme all the way, Legend Killer.
Okay, so now I have another one here for you from Sylvan, who said, if you had a house in Game of Thrones, what would your sigil be? His would be a badger or a fox.
Oh, as in just like coat of armor, or like an actual house within Game of Thrones?
Why not do both? So why don't you pick your house and also your own sigil if you have to?
Well, I won't lie, I haven't watched Game of Thrones since season 5. I know. I've been very lazy. I know. Calm down, chat. Otherwise, I'd definitely be the North, or whatever that family name is, and I'd have my coat of armor would be Red Panda because those are so funny.
Okay, now
Yeah, the start. It's been 2 years since I've watched it, Trap Man. Leave me alone, dude.
now Bloomkill wanted to know where or when or where is he going to meet you tomorrow? What hour and what place?
Wait, sorry, who said that?
Bloomkill.
Where are we meeting tomorrow? Dude, wherever. In front of Bercy if you want, or let's grab a beer. There's a thing called Bercy Village, which is like a ton of shops and bars. So I'll definitely go for a beer there. He's underage. He can have a Coke. He can watch me drink. I mean, that's been my life, having people watch me drink. Drown my sorrows. So
I rate.
nothing new. Exactly, Pope. You feel me, mate. You feel
I
me.
feel you, fam.
Now, Drayden wanted to know Billy Talent or Green Day?
Definitely Billy Talent. Green Day, like, I've listened to, but I have not been as much of a fan as Billy Talent, which is definitely top 3 of my favorite bands. I do appreciate Green Day, but Billy Talent, I've seen them 3 times. I love their music. I love their lyrics. I love the band, and I got a picture with 2 of the band members, and they are amazing. Yes. Billy Talent for fucking life.
Okay, next we have Sylvan, who said, if you could change one thing about Fnatic's LCS team, what would it be and why?
I would change Cap's eagerness to have a highlight reel, because I know he wants to do well. I know he feels the pressure of being on such a big team, and I think he wants to do too much. And sometimes I'm like, dude, take a step back. It's fine if you don't go 10-0, but just be careful, because you're getting ganked and you're not using your flash. You're just relying on your juking, and it's fine to lose a summoner spell or whatsoever, but just keep it back a bit, and you'll be a great mid laner.
Okay, now we've got a question here from Lyddon, who wants to know, if you could have your own Discord emote, what would it look like?
It would probably be my face going wee.
That sounds very fitting, to be
The
honest.
Statistic Screech, a classic.
It'd just be like, instead of me, actually just flaming the Discord or the team, it'd just be me spamming this emote, which might be a bit better for everyone here, but whatever.
Now, Ollie's asked his second to last question. Would you rather have 2 legs for arms or 2 arms for legs?
2 legs for arms or 2 arms? I guess 2 arms for legs, It's, you can kind of handstand, it's a bit easier. Whereas you wouldn't be able to grab anything if you had 2 legs for arms. So yeah, I think that's the best one there.
Would you
I'm
rather...
kind of a man horse, Ollie, if you get to know me in private.
This was a really tough one from Sylvan. Would you rather never watch a Fnatic game again and they win Worlds? Or would you rather watch and they never win Worlds?
Never watch and they win Worlds. Let's go, Fnatic. I just want you to be successful. Come on.
Now, Sylvan's asked his last question, which was, if you could live with one of the mods, who would it be?
Hope. I love you.
No problem, fam. Over any time, I'll kick my girlfriend out of the house.
No problem.
She doesn't need to be here.
Our love is too pure, dude. There mustn't be anyone between us.
Exactly.
Legend Killer wants to know, Papa Roach, Linkin Park, or Limp Bizkit?
Linkin Park. It was one of my first favorite bands. One of my friend in Scotland taught me about. He was like, "Have you ever heard Linkin Park?" I was like, "What? Lincoln Park? No, Linkin Park." It's like, what kind of band name is that? And yeah, I've been there from Hybrid Fury until now. I was extremely sad when Chester died, took his life. Depression is a horrible thing, and to see that in his last album, he's put out so many messages about his mental state, and that nothing was done. I mean, I'm sure that the band has always been here with him, but it's always hard with depression, and it's such a huge loss for Linkin Park, and even for for the new metal scene in general. And just listening to his songs again, you could hear the talent, the passion this guy had. But yeah, Linkin Park for sure.
If Fnatic disbanded the old team, what teams would you follow and why? I'm taking over because Loki has terrible Wi-Fi.
Well, I think I kind of went. Well, if Fnatic disbanded now, I'd probably follow H2K because Febiven is there, and even though he did well, what happened in 2016, and with him and Daylor or whatsoever, is whatever. But and you cannot deny his talent in 2015, and the amazing potential this kid has. So it'd definitely be H2K, also because I love Yankos. I think he's a very funny dude. And I really like their team. Like, they managed to bring a Korean bot lane, and they've done so well. Che should have been best support MVP, in my opinion, but that's for another time.
Impress us, Jedi or Sith?
Well, I actually have a book on Jedi's, so I'll go with Jedi's. Even though anger leads to hate and stuff like that, and this is what defines me, I still go towards the light at the end of the day.
Alexia asked if you had to date someone in the Discord, who would it be?
Oh, Alexia, I see you. If I had to date someone in the Discord, it would be Uno's roommate. I mean,
Shocker, baby.
I mean, I don't know, dude. You're all very beautiful people. I would date all of you. But I would date Uno's roommate. She's so hot.
Yes. If you could physically be one character in LoL, who would it be?
I would be Olaf, who is also my main. But he has this skin who's Brolaf, who's just him drinking and going, bro. And that's pretty much me when I'm drunk. So, you know, I'm all about that Viking life and that drinking life. Also, you know, the fact that he goes, that he cannot be CC'd, that is pretty much me. The mods cannot CC me. I am uncontrollable when I go mad. So, yeah, I am Olaf.
Ran for a question in the chat here, and it's going to be a bit off the wall, but tits are asked, dude. Quick, go. Answer before anyone notices.
Tits.
Okay. Anyway, thank you very much for coming, Madscot. You know what I mean? We invited you on here, actually, in an intention to break your MVP streak. This is all part of our clever plan. Now, we obviously have to pick an MVP, so who would your MVP for today?
I mean, I'm actually quite surprised that a lot of people were quite active, and I feel a bit honoured by this. So, first of all, thank you very much for everyone coming and just, you know, sharing the talk show. Although I will give it to Sylvan, who's made efforts to make memes. So definitely Sylvan. Who I was actually expecting more memes from you guys, more pictures. You know, I put myself out there, and you have not abused my picture. So this was your moment. Now
that's how much actually. That's a symbol of how much they love you, dude. You know, they didn't abuse you.
They have too much respect for me. Well, the contrary is not true. I'm just kidding. I love you all.
I too will nominate Sylvan. Well, I give Guardian Junior an honorable mention as he wants. You know what I mean? 'Cause that's a pretty solid Pepe. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, and also he had that amazing picture of a heart with Scotland and France. So definitely.
Right, I'm not gonna start listing off the whole Discord here as honorable mentions, but if I want to throw two more, I'll throw Ollie and Arya. There you go. Congratulations, kids.
Yeah, and also to like the Fnatic staff.
And in fact, Rand did ask one of the most important questions of mankind, so yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, right, that's it. None of the rest of you are getting any more. That's it. That's
all
we're
done. You had to ask beforehand.
Yeah.
Now it's too late.
Well, thank you very much for tuning in, guys. It's much appreciated that you would come and listen to our boy here, Madscot. This has been your host.
Thanks for having me. It's very cool to finally be on the other side. And yeah, thanks for everyone who's tuned in and stayed for like 3 hours now.
Yeah.
So I'm actually happy I've not bored you to death and actually brought you with maybe another side of me you might not know of. So I hope I haven't disgusted you too much and you'll still want to talk to me in the future.
And this being Pope and co-host Pope and my boy Yoki. He can't speak because his Wi-Fi is terrible. Give a clap to the English internet.
Fake news. I can talk.
Yeah, Loki.
What? Now he's making me out to be a propaganda machine. It's all part of his plan.
That was my plan all along.
Debated, bamboozled.
Who do you believe now? Pope or me? I know who's who.
After this, I don't believe anyone. I'm confused as fuck.
Now, Pope's gonna actually host a karaoke
in about
night.
In about 10 minutes.
To fucking sing, boys.
I need to quickly check something. So hold on.
Yes, karaoke night is actually happening. By the way, I'm not joking.
I've already sang on this talk show. You know I can go.
For the people here, how it will work is you have a choice. You can either get someone else choose a song for you, or you can choose a song and you have to sing it. The lyrics you can put yourselves, and we'll all vote on who was the best at the end.
If you haven't actually heard this song, I really recommend it. It's made by one of our Discord members. His name's Yannico. This is his song. He's the head of the mod team. This is Yannico's song, everyone. Please give it a listen. Please support him. Here's his song. Enjoy.
But just for reference, yep, at about 10 or whatever time it is, in about 20 past whatever hour it is currently for you, I will be in community
Oh, right,
next.
yeah, I can get Flairbot in here.
Yeah, we'll get Fairbot in. We'll play the song of Fairbot for all to listen, and then you have to sing along with it, whoever we're on, and then we'll vote for who was the best. In the meantime, if you want to take part, DM me, and then I'll stick you on the list, you know.
The exclusive.
Pope list, you know.
You should actually promote it in community events as well. Just ping people to come in.
Yeah, be there and listen as well, yeah, Trotman.
Yeah, you'll be unmuted when you
When it's your turn to go.
Well, I was just saying if anyone else wanted to join that wasn't actually here, they could get pinged.
Oh, yeah.
But obviously, if you don't want that to happen. Anyway, that's me off because I need to have dinner. Pope doesn't eat because he hibernates, so
Yeah,
not his thing.
important.
So I can't join you for karaoke night. I can't sing either, so I did send you a great song from Yannico, so I've done my part. Please enjoy it. It's his song. Make sure to send him that song when you next see him, because he really likes that song and he really appreciates it when you recognize that it's his song. So please send that over to him when you next see him and say that you love it. Also, feedback would be great in PMs to either me or Pope, just to see what you guys think of the show. And also, finally, just a quick reminder of two things. Don't be disheartened if you didn't get mod this time. We have kept some people in mind for next time. And if you have any problems in the Discord, make sure to contact the moderators. If you have problems with mods, doesn't matter. Just contact a mod. We'll sort it. Everything will be okay. So we will see you on Sunday, actually, where we'll have Hawkeye on the show with LK as my co-host. So tune in on 6 o'clock UK time, I think it is. We will have the lawman Hawkeye himself. Pope will not be co-hosting because he needs a break and he has life to attend to. I have less of a life than he does, so that's why I'm co-hosting everything.
I was busy getting embarrassed on a cafe today, you know.
I wanted to tell that story, but you wouldn't let me.
I mean, you can tell it if you want now. The person I thought was going to be here isn't, so it's okay.
I think it's best if you tell them now.
Okay. Right. I'll quickly just shove this out round, and I have to go for a couple of minutes, and then I'll add everyone when the karaoke begins. Anyway, about 4 years ago, I had one of those. You ever see those scenes in films of a guy completely misreads a situation and then tries to kiss the girl and it's completely wrong, and he's completely wrong about the entire situation?
Yes, we've all been there.
It's one of those, and I got completely cucked. Okay, I completely fucked myself up and embarrassed myself. Right? I mean, I've never been so embarrassed in my life as this happened. It was just a case of we were outside school, and it was like a last day of school in maybe 5th year, like the end of our high school, and it just sort of was outside the school, and she said, "You know, I'm still single," and I was like, "She'd been saying this for a couple of weeks," and to say the least, I may have went for it, and I may have got rejected, saying, "Oh, sorry, I'm not interested in you, though." It had been probably one of the most embarrassing moments of my life. So today, last night actually, I had a dream about this. I remembered it, and it was. I woke up this morning and said to myself, "Fuck, why did I remember this?" So I took my girlfriend to a cafe today in the city centre, and walked in, and she was the person who served us in the cafe. When my girlfriend was sitting at the table, so she walked up and said, "Oh, you know," she said, "Are you two together?" And I was like, "Get out of like, she did. Please don't remember me. Please don't remember me. Please don't remember me. Please don't remember me." And I was messaging Yogi this whole time, like he literally just died inside. And she just said something like gangs of, "You know, your boyfriend tried to like kiss me about 2 years ago," and my girlfriend just sat the rest of the time just glared at me in this cafe. I have never been so like ready to die in my life. I've never felt so embarrassed in a social scenario in my life.
Now you know how it feels to be backstabbed.
I do, yeah, I do.
She just threw you under the bus right in front of your girlfriend. She just swooped in like, "Oh, you're together now?"
There was no mercy. Like I just looked at her like, please tell me she doesn't remember me. There's no way she remembers me.
And then she just kind of made sure to embarrass you. And then she did this knowing that your girlfriend was
Yeah.
getting pissed off as well.
Yeah.
It takes true evil to do that to someone.
It was heartbreaking to say the least, you know.
You're currently in the stand zone right now. Like your you're upset with you. You're where Stan is every day of his life.
I'm
How
not
does it
running
feel?
for wheat fields.
She'll probably put you in a wheat field. She'll get the ladder out.
Oh no, not together. Not anything but together.
She gets the ladder out, puts you in the wagon, lifts it like the true woman that you
Girls
love.
don't live wagon. I'm kidding. We can all live wagons if we put our heart to it.
Ho ho ho. Anyway.
I forgot that you were still there.
Do not censor me!
Right. Anyway, 10 minutes. I'll add everyone. I'll do it not here for karaoke night, and then we'll be doing it community nights again. I said, if you want to join in, DM me the song you want to sing. Hit me up, lads.
Slide into those DMs.
Yeah, and just don't make sure my girlfriend's behind me. That would be pretty awkward, and I'd probably get shanked.
Make sure not to remind her about what happened earlier today with
She can hear all of us anyway, so I'm gonna die anyway.
Those roommates out there slide into my DMs.
Anyway, I'll be back. But I said, at here will be posted.
And I will be muting Madscot and going for dinner. So thank you all, guys.
Don't mute me, fam.
Stick around for the karaoke night.
Thanks everyone for coming.
For today. Madscot, I'm muting you. You're a pleb now. This is my show now. Thanks, guys. I really appreciate it. I'll see you guys later.